to the Inland Sports Show, your leader in sports in the Inland Empire. Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Jeff, it's a brand new day as we're getting set for a big week of basketball action.
Yeah, I want to say this. There is more stuff going on at this time of the year than any other time. It's just you got baseball starting up. You're right in the middle of basketball. You got hockey. You got the ending of all the winter sports. It's just chaos, and we are covering it all.
We are covering it all, or we're trying to. We're all over the place.
Holy cow!
At least the Big West tournament is in Anaheim. Can you imagine if it was like in, let's say, Sacramento, America's finest city, or something like that? Like it would be tough.
I wouldn't go if it was.
You wouldn't go?
No, I saw Sacramento.
We love Sacramento.
I saw Sacramento. All they had there was vacuums and cigarettes. That's it.
That's not true.
That is true. There was nothing else there. There was a dirty-looking river, and there was a lot of homeless
That is
folk.
the mighty and the majestic Sacramento River, man. How dare you?
It looked like straight mud. Mud. It was nasty.
No, it's a big week for basketball. But we want to start off with a little bit of football action.
Football?
We're going to dive real deep on this one in the next segment. But UCLA and USC started their spring football practice. I know it's only March, but they're already on the field running around, getting ready for next season.
Yeah, I mean, UCLA is getting after it. USC is getting after it. USC lost a lot of guys. Guys are getting arrested, and guys are leaving the program. It's crazy.
They're going to have to reload. That's kind of the story at USC, trying to get some new guys in there. One of the new guys, our very own, one of our favorites, Justin Dedich out of Chaparral High School. He's going to be anchoring, hopefully, that offensive line sooner than later. He might step right in there as a true freshman and get to work on the offensive line for the Trojans. So USC spring ball, UCLA spring ball. And at UCLA, easily the big story is Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly in the offense. Who's going to replace Josh Rosen? But more so, Chip Kelly. Because, Jeff, in college football, the stars are the head coaches. We love the players, but the head coaches are the big names.
And Chip Kelly really is a rock star when it comes to the name of West Coast college football. I mean, just think about what he did at Oregon. He was he was a legend, offensive legend. And he hopes it will translate to the Bruins this year.
Your brother's friend is friends with Chip Kelly. Is
my
that right?
My brother's buddy that lives in New Hampshire is best friends with Chip Kelly.
So when's he going to do the show?
I don't know if he's ever
get him on here, man.
We need to get him on here. I can't believe Chip doesn't do interviews.
He should.
He doesn't do any right now.
Start right here on the Inland Sports Show. So we'll talk UCLA football. We'll talk USC football coming up in our next segment. From the NBA last night, the Lakers, they had a winning streak going, didn't they? It was like 5 in a row.
And then it was Isaiah Thomas played for the other team last night.
He did?
And through the it was man.
The last 2 minutes.
It was like he was playing for Cleveland. It was like he was playing for Boston. It was not like he was playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. He lost the game for the Lakers.
You know, I like to listen to some of our Fox Sports colleagues like Colin Cowherd, and he was going off on IT this morning saying this is exactly why you just put him on the bench, play your young guys, because he is not part of the future. He's not part of the plans going forward for the Lakers. In fact, not only is he not part of the plans for the future, he's blowing up the present. He's blowing up the games right now for the young guys.
Yeah, and the tough thing is, this guy was going to get a max contract, and now he's going to...
He was good. He was almost the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, he has fallen hard. He's fallen on hard times with the Lakers. But he is just going to be a short rental. It's like going to the lake and renting a Sea-Doo for about an hour and a half. That's what they're renting him for, is about an hour and a half, then he's gone.
Nice little paddle boat.
Yeah.
Maybe go out there and feed the ducks. Just a quick little brief stay.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. I still think there's a good chance LeBron James is going to come to the Lakers.
Yeah, so I'm sitting at home last night, minding my own business, helping the kids with homework and watching, was it The Voice? I don't know, watching something.
Whoa.
And
turn it in. Do you know what you need to turn in?
The man card.
Exactly.
I didn't turn it on. I didn't turn on The Voice.
I watched The Bachelor for about 20 minutes because I heard
that's worse. That's worse.
I heard it was good TV.
No, that's worse.
Yeah, well,
was it worse?
No, there's 26 good-looking girls.
Oh, jeez.
And they all want one guy. I don't get it. I've never really seen it, actually, but I watched a little bit last night because they said it was gripping TV.
It was gripping.
Yes.
But I was sitting there minding my own business, doing homework. Jeff texts me, LeBron's going to the Lakers.
Yes, he is.
Usually at least once a week you send me that text.
Because I'm looking at, he has a team in Cleveland that is essentially the same roster as what the Lakers have.
You know what? I can't believe I'm saying this right now. Take LeBron out of the equation. The Lakers are better than the Cavaliers right now.
They are.
Did I just say that? Was that out loud? You guys all hear that too?
And I said yesterday that they're going to pop. There's going to be did you like that?
No. Well, he did. But
they have to go 13 and they had to go 13-7 as of yesterday, but now they lost yesterday just to go 500. The one thing is they're starting to learn how to win a little bit. They are. They're a lot better than they've been. But when they figure it out, it's going to be gangbusters. Remember that those OKC teams when they had Harden, Kevin Durant, and
Westbrook.
Do you remember how rotten they were when they started? And then the second year, there's something that clicked, and they won they improved 18 games, and then they improved one more time. It was like tenfold. You go, oh my gosh, they figured it out, and then they broke up the team. They broke up the band.
Well, Portland won last night 108-103, so it was a close game. And when you look at the Western Conference, okay, Houston and Golden State, they're above everybody else. Like, you just look at the records and the standings, there's no one even close. But outside of Golden State and Houston, it's a logjam in the Western Conference. From the third place team, which is currently Portland, all the way down to the Clippers in ninth place. Like, it's really close. In fact, the Clippers are still within very much striking range for the playoffs. I don't know if the Lakers are kind of in the Bermuda Triangle. They're kind of in no man's land. They're not one of the worst teams like Phoenix and Sacramento. Yeah, I said it. But they're also not right there on the cusp of the playoffs. They're kind of like right there in between. So are the Lakers going to make this charge to join the top group, or are they going to fall back and join the cellar dwellers like Sacramento?
No, I think they're going to continue to get better. I think as the year goes on, they're going to improve. I don't think they make the playoffs. I'm being honest. I don't see it happening.
Are you looking at standings right now? See?
Yes, I am. I just don't see it happening. The Clippers are half game out. Utah is a game and a half out, and then it goes to the Clippers. They're 7 games out.
But look at this. So the Clippers are right now in ninth place in the West, which is
a half game out.
We're going to talk about this later in the show. Right now, they're not in a playoff position, but they're only a couple games behind everybody else outside of Houston and Golden State. The Rockets and the Warriors are running away with this, and then there's everybody else.
Okay, the Clippers, just think of it this way. The Clippers are 2 games from being the 4th seed.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah,
and again, the Lakers, they're not at the bottom with those cellar dwellers, but they're not with the Clippers. They're not right there on the cusp of making the playoffs. They're somewhere in between.
Yeah, and the Clippers could be. I mean, they're 3 games out from being third in the West. I mean, it'll go Houston if they play well. Houston, Golden State, and it could be the Clippers right after that because they're only 3 games out.
So Lakers lost to Portland last night, 108-103. Julius Randle, 21 points, 9 boards. I don't know if he's in their plans for the future, but he's sure playing like he wants a contract.
Oh, he's
been like their best player the last couple of weeks.
He's in a contract year. They can't re-sign him. They just can't. I mean, and he knows it. I think he's kind of put that trade rumors because remember they were talking about trading him all season until the trade deadline. I think he's put those aside. I think he's saying, hey, I'm going to play. We're going to get our team better. I'm going to get better. Because he's gonna get a good contract.
Yeah, he will get money. He'll get it somewhere.
You can't allocate that money to him because will screw up the 2 max contracts for the Lakers. If they do re-sign him, they can only get 1 max contract. So by not signing him, they can get 2, possibly 3 if they get rid of that dang contract.
Do you remember when Julius Randle and D'Angelo Russell were going to be the face of the Lakers? Remember they were supposed to be the 1-2 punch?
Yeah, they were talking about Julius Randle being like Karl Malone. Remember the big power forward, the big strong
Give me a
guy.
break. The mailman?
Yeah, but
wore those LA gears, the catapults?
Yeah, the catapults, they were heavy.
I think I had the catapults.
I did. In fact, I always wanted the shoes that he had that used to light up. They had light up shoes.
You still have light up shoes,
Jeff.
I
still do. Those are my
saw your light up shoes.
Those are my Disney shoes. But no, no. But I used to always want those the the light up shoes, but then they said they were banned from the NBA.
Did you ever get Max pumps?
I had pumps.
Oh yeah, I had the Omni Zones.
Oh, look at
Which
you.
were the Dominique Wilkins?
Yeah, that's right.
I still have pumps. In fact, you want me to wear them tomorrow?
Yes.
I'm going to wear my Reebok pumps tomorrow. I got to find them.
Yeah, see if they...
They were the D Browns. I forget what they were called. But D Brown, remember he won the slam dunk competition?
Yeah.
He closed his eyes like this?
Yeah.
Almost like dabbing on those fools. But they were, yeah.
Did you just dab? He just dabbed. Did you see
I did.
Whoa.
Hold on. You want to
find...
Hey, hold on. At church on Sunday, my wife was telling a story out of the Bible.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be like this ruthless, mean king. And I was like telling people what to do and stuff. So one of the kids, I was like, I threw him in jail, like he was going to be tortured. And I threw him in jail. Yeah. And as he was walking away, I dabbed on him like, at church. Some little 9-year-old kid.
Oh,
like, dab on you.
Oh, look at you, progressive church.
You know what I saw on Instagram and really bothered me?
What bothered you?
It really bothered me because I'm like, people, man. People, man. Laker fans, man. Laker fans. So I saw on Instagram, someone had a photo edit, and it was Kareem.
Oh, I love Kareem.
I think it was Wilt. It was Shaq and Kobe. And it said how many MVPs they had won, because it was almost, it had like all of them on this one picture, had how many MVP awards they had won. And in the middle, it had Lonzo Ball. And it said, how many MVP awards do you think he'll win? What? I'm like, wait, hold on.
Stop it.
Wait, hold on. How many he's going to win? Like, dude. Yeah, Instagram needs to have some like rules and laws. Like, you can't just go on there and post garbage like that. How many MVPs will Lonzo Ball win? How about just make the playoffs?
He's not going to win any MVPs. Like I said, I would be happy if they got rid of him.
I'm going to find that.
Hey, get rid of him. Hey, if you want to follow somebody good on Instagram.
No.
Yeah.
Who?
Connor Gorham. He's got a half-court shot right there. Look at that.
Oh, and he fell on was he fouled on the play?
No, watch this shot though. Half-court shot. Boom, nails it. Bam!
He did. Went to the bank.
Yeah, okay. Follow my son. He'll really like it. Let's see. Make sure you're cool to him. Connor with an O.
Yeah, don't harass him.
Yeah, CONNOR 3K. That's his thing.
3K? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Freddie 3K Holly? Is he a big Freddie Holly fan?
He might be a Freddie Holly. Connor 3K. You can check him out. He's hitting threes and half-court shots and laying on the ground like a ding-dong. That's my son. Yeah. Instagram. Now, I'm a Wilt guy. I'm a Kareem guy. I'm a Shaq guy, and I'm a Kobe guy.
So do you think in the end Lonzo Ball will have more MVPs than any of those guys?
I think Lonzo Ball is never going to have an MVP.
Never?
Ever.
Maybe next year.
Never.
Never?
Never.
Maybe 5 years from now.
I'm still open to trading him or getting rid of him just because I don't want. What? We hearing stuff out
Yeah, the people laughing it up.
Listening to us. Yeah, trade Lonzo Ball, get rid of his dad, just get rid of the whole fiasco. And people were mad at me for saying that. I got texts saying, "How can you dislike Zoe?" I don't really dislike Zoe. I dislike the whole everything. I hate his jump shot.
Okay, so if he manned up,
if he denounced his dad on publicly, I'd say sure, I might be a little bit of a fan.
Bring it on.
But I honestly, he has the worst jump shot of anyone I've seen. It's a ugly, ugly, ugly shot. He shoots across his face. Let me work with him. I can get that guy a jump shot. My kids could always shoot because that's all we did in practice. You know that.
Yeah.
I had those little 2'6" guys that could shoot.
Shoot and score.
I could turn that boy into a shooter.
Shoot and score. Hey, we got breaking news. Everyone just stop what you're doing. We have breaking news on the Inland Sports Show. Cal Baptist has announced that it has broke its basketball attendance record for this season, and they are number 2 in the entire nation in Division II.
What?
Yeah, so they got a lot of people. 50,000 plus. I think Cullen was looking at it too. Yeah, so in the nation in Division II, number 2 in the country, and they broke all their attendance records. Plus, I mean, think about it. You got a bigger house, right? The new event center sits, like 5,000? So
they broke it like in about 2 games.
They might have got a lot of guys in there, or a lot of basketball fans.
Yeah, how will that
quickly?
How will that translate to D1? You think? Do you think they still get the amount, or they get more?
I think they get more. Okay, think about it. Okay, let's say they're playing. Let me pick a random Division II school, Sonoma State. Sonoma State's coming to town Saturday night. Hey, make plans for the family. All right. Or let's say, hey, the Arizona Wildcats are going to be here Saturday night. Would you rather? I'd be like, ooh, Arizona Wildcats. I'm gonna go see them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Arizona's going to come.
No, yeah, I don't know Arizona's coming, but hypothetically,
let's talk about some of these whack teams though. I mean, there's not
Whack like they're bad?
no whack.
Like that's whack.
No, they're league. They're
Oh,
whack.
the whack. The whack. Oh,
the
gotcha,
WAC
gotcha.
conference. You know, Chicago State,
Cal State Bakersfield.
Cal State Baker.
The Road Runners, man. Runner hoops.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they're in the WCC, we're talking, then you're
Gonzaga, St. Mary's.
Pepperdine, those guys.
Yeah.
Those will bring in people. I'm not too sure. I'm sure that the loyals, the people that live on campus, will be there. But I just wish they were in a different conference. I hope they blow up that WAC conference pretty quickly here.
Grand Canyon.
Yes.
Dan Marley.
Thunder Dan.
Utah Valley. Who am I missing? Seattle.
Those are three good, but then it drops off tremendously.
Cal State Bakersfield.
Oh,
but you know what? They're moving. Remember, they're going to the Big West.
Big West with UC San Diego.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, we'll see.
So I bet you they'll break the record again. I think they'll continue to do it. They got a great product, a great big new house. So they're doing good things at CBU, number 2 in the country in Division II in total attendance. A couple updates real quick from spring training. The Dodgers taking on the Cubs. Okay, this is ironic. You, what are you doing?
You Darvish
making his Cubs debut. His Chicago, the first time he put on that Cubs uniform and took the mound in a spring training game, and it's against the Dodgers.
Whoa.
2 innings, 4 strikeouts.
Ooh.
Gave up a run
in
his Cubs debut against the Dodgers. Ironically, against the Dodgers.
I was against them Dodgers giving him up. He played bad in the World Series.
But you wanted him back.
I wanted him back. He was a big part of that rotation.
Yeah, the Dodgers can be okay, though. They've got like 5 or 6 starting pitchers. Actually, even more if you throw in Urias.
And they have probably 13 of the best field players.
They've got so many guys.
They do.
They've got great young guys. They've got seasoned veterans. Chase Utley, Matt Kemp.
Do you keep Kemp? Yep. That's my next question. Do you keep Kemp?
Yeah.
You do?
You do.
Yes.
Oh, you got to cut somebody, though.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Yeah.
But Kemp, though, I don't know, man. You
don't know.
He's a beast right now.
Yeah, he's a beast, but we'll see how he handles it until he starts dating a Kardashian. Or he used to. He used to date one of those.
Dated Rihanna.
We dated Rihanna. That's okay. She's cute. She got a lot of tattoos, though. Way too many tattoos for me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, she got tattoos in weird spots, too.
She does? You seen all?
Oh, yeah. I've Google searched her.
You did?
Well, I looked up Rihanna tattoos. I went, whoa. Yeah, of course I do. That's what you do when you sit around and you're bored. You look up hot chicks.
Is that what you did?
That's what I do all the time. That's what we all do, don't we? That's what Greg does.
Greg's nodding, yeah.
We look up hot chicks.
And from the Halos, they're taking on the Diamondbacks. Shohei Ohtani DHing for the Angels today. 0 for 2 in a walk so far.
That's okay.
If anything happens, we will stop what we are doing. We'll put it straight to the front of the line, and we'll bring it to you here on the Inland Sports Show. And one more news item here in our Inland Sports headlines. Cal Baptist Baseball beating Holy Names 14-zip, a 4-game sweep for the Lancers. Old Mody Moats, Ryan Moda, Bryce Macy home runs last night. They're headed to Hawaii, going to Hawaii Pacific on Friday.
For 10 days?
Yeah, they're gone for forever.
Man, what a great gig.
Hey, and then in our third segment, history made at Cal Baptist. Back-to-back softball no-hitters, and the guy who called the game is going to join us live on the show.
He is?
Yeah, the guy who called the game.
Our son?
History last night. In fact, we heard some history on the show live yesterday.
If you and I were life partners, he'd be our son.
He would.
He would. If you and I were if we were partners and married.
How does this show go this way?
No, seriously, if you and I were married, this would be our son. Because, we could adopt a little boy, and the little boy would be this guy, Cullen Holt.
He'd play soccer.
I just like how
he would have played soccer.
When I said, we're life partners, Pep just goes, what are you talking about?
Like, I was talking about Shohei Ohtani and old Mody Moats.
Hey, you're not my type.
What, good looking and smart? Thundercats. All right, we got to thank our sponsors. Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken's Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training, and Catalano Motors in Corona. Thank you very much. If you'd like to join our team, shoot us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. That's inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. When we come back here, we're going to talk some college football with the Bruins and the Trojans. They are back on the field. Spring ball is upon us. We'll be back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Welcome back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Talking some foosball, man. It's always football season around here. We were talking combine yesterday. Before you know it, we're going to have the pro days and the draft. But for college football, Jeff, they're having spring ball right now. They're actually back out on the field at USC, at UCLA. And there's also a heavy Inland Empire influence with the Bruins and with the Trojans as well.
Well, let's hear it.
So for USC, you're like, hit me with the knowledge. USC, okay? Not since 1980 have the Trojans had to replace their starting quarterback, their leading rusher, and their top receiver in the same offseason.
Really?
It's like a whole new team coming back to Troy. They've never had to do that since 1980. So
wow.
Burnett was the top receiver, Ronald Jones, the running back, and, of course, Sam Darnold, the quarterback. All of them have left early. They're all leaving USC. They all got to, now USC's got to find spots for all the new guys, and including Stephen Carr.
Our guy.
We saw glimpses of Stephen Carr last year as a true freshman for USC, and it was easy to see that this guy is the future for Tailback U, is the future for USC. He had some dynamic runs, including a big run against Stanford. I think he had over 300 yards on the year, a couple touchdowns. So as a true freshman for the Summit High School product, that's really good.
That's darn good. In fact, we've had him on the show.
Yeah, Stephen Carr, he did our show like 2 weeks ago.
I think I made fun of him.
Oh, you said because he watched Friends.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
TV show Friends.
Yeah, he goes, do you have any guilty pleasures? No, it's not a guilty pleasure.
No, but I watch Friends.
I'm like, whatever, dude.
That's a guilty pleasure.
That's as guilty as they get, buddy.
Joey, Rachel, what's the other ones?
I don't know.
Phoebe.
Oh, Phoebe. Joey Tribbiani.
Joey. Chandler.
Chandler Bing.
Ross. Oh, you know Ross.
Ross Geller, my wife's lover.
Oh, yeah. Remember I pulled up a picture of Ross from Friends to show you because that's who your wife likes. And
he looks like George Fabregas. They look like brothers.
He looked like trash, man. Like he had been up all night long. Like he looked like a mess.
He is a mess. My wife.
I was like, this is the guy your wife likes?
Well, then I looked in the mirror and went, oh, God.
And you saw this.
She does like Kylo Ren, though.
Yeah, she does.
She
likes Kylo Ren's
she
nipples.
Likes
his nipples because they showed him in the Star Wars.
Master of the Knights of Ren.
Hey, how many times in a Star Wars movie have we seen a shirtless dude or a shirtless anything? We had Princess Leia in her slave outfit.
Is Kylo Ren the first topless dude in Star Wars?
That's the first time I've seen nipples in Star Wars. I don't want to see nipples in Star Wars. Do you?
They got nipples in space. Yeah.
My Star Wars don't have nipples.
In my fantasy, there's no nipples, in Star Wars. You know, if I'm seeing what is that gray movie? What's that? 50 Shades of Grey? That's a different story. If I'm seeing 9.5 weeks, that's a different story. But when I'm watching Star Wars,
I just want to see lightsabers and fighting.
That's a nose.
Yoda skills.
Yeah, I don't want to see Yoda's nipples. He's a little guy.
He's a little guy.
Yeah. Hey, USC though, let's get back to it. They're having some issues. Did you hear about this?
No.
They lost guys. They kicked guys off the team. Wide receiver Joseph Lewis, wide receiver Jalen Green, offensive tackle Nathan Smith. Defensive back,
Smith?
Gone.
That's Marietta Mesa.
Gone. Defensive back, Jamel Cook.
Wait, where are you getting this from?
From our friend Angel Viscar.
Boots on the ground. He's at USC.
Yes. And
world famous, man.
And, of course, I'd get rid of this guy just because of his first name, Olajuwon Tucker. No longer with the USC football team.
And they don't say why. They're just not with the team anymore?
They are no longer on the USC football team.
Nathan Smith, who's actually done this show, big, tall offensive lineman out of Marietta Mesa.
Well, apparently he's not there anymore. Right now he's probably playing in Marietta Mesa.
He might be.
He maybe went back.
Valley College or RCC or something.
Could be a Valley. They always get those big time tossbacks.
Hey, can I follow up on Stephen Carr just for a moment?
Oh, yes, let's hear. I'm sorry. I went all...
Stephen Carr, the next great tailback at Tailback U. He did our show 2 weeks ago. He loves Friends. That's his favorite TV show. It is. And he's going to be watching a lot of Friends.
What do you mean?
He's laid up. He's not part of the spring football practices at USC right now because he's going to start in the fall.
He better.
He'll be okay. But the spring ball practices, he had a herniated disc in his back, and he had back surgery. So
that's not good.
Yeah, so he's going to skip the spring football practices, which is totally okay. Again, for a running back, they take a real beating throughout the season. It's better to just rest them, limit their touches on the football.
Oh, he's got a herniated disc.
He had a herniated disc. He had back surgery, so he's not going to go through spring football. He should be fine in time for fall camp when they kick off the season in the fall. But, yeah, he's going to be watching a lot of Friends because he had back surgery. He's going to be laid up watching just Joey do his acting dumb and, Rachel and is it Ross? Rachel Ross got together, right? Yeah. Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, he did.
Wrong guy here.
Oh, yeah. See, he's got street cred. You and I lost our street cred.
Greg might know, but he's not going to admit it. I don't know. You guys was friends of the show?
Ross had that monkey.
I used to watch Beverly Hills 90210.
You did?
You just lost all street cred. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
I didn't watch Friends.
Right now, the entire city of Colton is frowning right now.
The whole 9021.
There's a big tear.
9020. Greg.
Wait, what's
Beverly Hills? Yeah.
What's the zip in Colton, Greg?
It's 92324.
92324?
92324.
Colton 92324. On this episode of Colton 92324.
Yeah.
Greg goes down to the taqueria and hangs out.
Then he's going to go down to the old mini mart and he's going to pick up on Esmeralda, who's drinking.
Where's the hang?
She's drinking a Mickey's out front.
Because Beverly Hills 90210, they had like a restaurant or something. The what?
The Peach Pit.
Peach Pit.
I love that Greg knows that.
Greg, get on the mic. So where's the hangout in Colton?
Peach
Colton
Pit.
92324. Yeah.
I gotta say P&G Burgers.
On this episode of Colton 92324.
That's our Peach Pit.
The Plum Pit.
Greg and Guillermo go down to P&G Burgers, and they run into his long lost girlfriend Esmeralda.
I never dated a girl from Colton.
No?
Nah.
It's not too late.
I go out my city for that one.
You import.
You date outside your city. What kind of person are you?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know
Colton's
you
such
anymore.
a small city that everybody knows you. So if I dated somebody from Colton, their family would know everything.
All your secrets.
It's kind of like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Exactly. Like Norm.
Yeah, Greg walks in, P&G. On this episode of Colton 92324, Greg
That's so funny. What are you driving over there, buddy? What do you got? What kind of car you drive over there? You know what we got in Beverly Hills? Lamborghinis, Porsches. What do you got in Colton, Greg? What do you got? You driving a
trucks, man.
You got a truck.
Truck beds.
You drive Pintos.
I'm not gonna say what I'm driving because I'm being incognito.
Oh, he's flying under the radar.
Oh, yeah. But is it midnight? Is it a midnight?
Yes, it is.
I love your car. Can I sit in your car later and just smell it?
It is brand new.
Can I go smell your interior?
The Inland Sports Show has changed Greg's life for the better, I think.
I'm going to go smell his interior the second we get off this show. I'm going to go put my nose straight to the grindstone and smell your car.
You're going to smell it.
Brand new.
So that was USC.
Oh, okay. Now how
about UCLA? We haven't talked about UCLA. Chip Kelly is the new head football coach of the Bruins. They have also lost a lot, maybe most notably his quarterback Josh Rosen. He's out. He declared he's going to enter the NFL draft. We all know that. But they also lost a lot of skill guys. And that's where the Inland Empire comes in. We're going to swoop in. We're going to steal all those skill guy positions. We've got Demetric Felton out of Great Oak High School. And he's one of those guys that saw a little bit of time last year. And Chip Kelly really likes this guy. In fact, he's described as, let's see, I want to read this to make sure. Get this right. He is shifty.
Shifty?
He's an undersized receiver.
He's shifty?
But his speed makes him a good fit for Kelly's offense, and the former four-star prospect from Temecula could be in line for more playing time as the Bruins try to replace four receivers.
He's shifty?
He's shifty. He's good.
He's shifty.
He's good. He's
wiry.
fast.
He's shifty.
Yes.
He's wiry and cagey.
So that's Demetric Felton out of Great Oak High School in Temecula. Could be a starter for the UCLA football team at receiver. The other receiver could be out of Summit High School. It's a lot of Summit on this show today. A lot of Skyhawk action. Damian Alloway.
No.
A little slot receiver out of Summit High School. He may also get his chance to, as they said, burst onto the scene for UCLA. So if you're a UCLA football fan, there's a good chance The Inland Empire will be holding down those top 2 wide receiver positions with Demetric Felton and Damian Alloway. How about that?
The bookend receivers.
Yes. They're both little guys, though. They're both kind of like more like slots. So I don't know. You still might need a big, tall guy to put on the outside, but
Just hide him next to the tight ends.
you do. Yeah, just
Right next to him. Right on there.
sneak them in there.
Yeah.
You could probably play with 12 guys. They're that little. You could probably play 12 guys. You wouldn't even notice the other guy.
Little bitty guys.
Picture Justin Bell with pads on.
No.
You love Justin
I
Bell.
do, but if I don't want to get that guy hurt, he's such a nice guy. Did you read the article in the paper Jim Alexander wrote about him?
Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise gave his vote of approval for Justin Bell. He wants to see Justin Bell back as the head coach.
We love Justin Bell.
We do.
We
and his
love
daughter.
him.
We saw his daughter Noelle last night.
Oh, she's adorable. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic article written by Jim Alexander, and it's nice to see guys step up for people in the area.
I think we influenced him. I think he comes on the show and we're like, man, Justin Bell's great. We love this guy. And he's like, you know what? I think Pep and Jeff are onto something.
I think they need to give him a couple of years. Don't give him just 1 year.
Yeah, give him a little time, right?
Yeah, give him 3 years. You know, you let him recruit his own guys, and we'll see how it works out. I love him, and I hate to see him. I hate to see him leave. I hate to see his wife leave. His wife's the associate head coach of
For the women's team.
and I hate to see his daughter leave.
They're all UCR'd out. Yeah.
I don't want to see her leave. She's a cute little girl.
Yeah.
She's very funny.
Noelle.
I want to see her grow up.
She kind of stole the scene last night.
Oh, she was
at
fantastic.
the coaches show.
Yeah, we're gonna have that on the broadcast.
Yeah, a little bit later, we're going to replay that interview we had with Justin Bell last night. Very, very good interview, very candid. And he was talking about Davis and kind of the up and down season that UCR's had, but they were able to kind of get hot at the end. They've won 4 of their last 7, and they got to the postseason tournament. So
They're gonna win it all.
they could win it all.
We're gonna go to the
Jeff,
big dance.
we're going to the big dance, and we've already decided. Can we say this?
Yes.
What we're going to wear?
Yes, you can.
Well, yeah, we're going to wear tuxedos if they make it to the big dance. We're going to wear
Yes.
tuxedos wherever they go.
Top hats.
And top hats.
Yeah.
I'm not really a hat guy.
I will wear a top hat, and I will
With
walk around
tails?
with
You got tails on
and
your
a cane-
jacket?
and a cane.
All right. When we come back, history was made at CBU last night. Back-to-back softball no-hitters. And the guy who called the game, called both games of that double dip. He's live in our studio. We're going to talk CBU softball when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
A4 sizes, or when you donated her private diary to the public library. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Every 20 seconds, another kid drops out of school. If we do nothing, 3.5 million kids won't receive a diploma over the next 4 years. United Way knows that kids who have a caring adult in their life are more likely to make it. And the difference between a dropout and a graduate could be you. Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Thumper, what did your father tell you this morning?
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. I love this time of year. We got spring football. We got all kinds of basketball still, UCBU, UCR, high school hoops. Everybody's still alive. And we got some of those spring sports being introduced. Baseball, softball. We're really good at baseball and softball in the IE. Really good.
We are.
College level, high school level. Last night at Cal Baptist, I've covered a lot of softball in my day. I don't think I've ever heard this. Cal Baptist had back-to-back no-hitters against Dominican, the Penguins, last night.
I'm just going to say this.
Say it.
If you're Dominican college,
yes,
and you show up somewhere to play a whole day of softball,
that's a lot of softball,
and you don't get a hit.
No.
And then you got to drive back home?
Yeah, San Rafael.
That's just a horrible. That's a horrible.
Probably flew, right? San Rafael?
I don't know.
That's a long
Probably
ways.
not. They're Division II right now.
But the guy who called both games of the no-hitter, he made his softball play-by-play debut, and he got back-to-back no-nos.
Then he needs to quit. Never do it again because he's already hit the pinnacle of success.
It won't get any better than this. It's the great Cullen Holtz.
So you're telling me that this no-hitter thing is not a common occurrence?
Yeah.
Because both the softball games I watched were no-hitters, so I just
You're
assumed
like,
it
happens all the time, right?
Was that your first college softball game you've been to?
No, it wasn't the first one I've been to, but it's the first one I've called. First softball game I've ever called. And I tell you what, Dominican's got another doubleheader tonight against CBU.
Oh, they do?
They go for 4 no-hitters in a row.
Wait, when does that one start? What time?
5 and 7 again tonight. Travis Van Nody is on the call.
And who's on the call?
Travis Van Nody.
Is he the B guy? Like you're the starter and he's the backup?
Probably, because I don't know. When I do play-by-play, they get no-hitters.
They're going to request you, Cullen. They're going to request you.
What's his name again?
Travis Van Nody. He's a good friend of Gazal's, Jeff.
I don't care who he is. He's got a funny name. Van Nody.
He's the B guy. He's the backup to Cullen over here.
He's the B real.
Hey, so Cullen.
Gazal?
Apparently. That's what I've been told. I've never met him. All I know is Dominican, CBU again tonight, going for 4 no-hitters in a row.
If Dominican gets a hit in the first inning, I'm going to say it was all because of the switch at play-by-play, man.
Because of our son.
Yeah. Because
Cullen.
Hey, and Pep, we had Caitlin Lloyd on the show.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's my favorite.
She's the leadoff batter in the lineup for the Lancers.
Yes.
First game, second pitch of the game, second pitch of the whole doubleheader. Goes yard over the right field fence.
Oh, how did you? Can you replay the call? Let's do.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
Wait. Let's redo it. Redo it right now in your head.
And Lloyd, she's a sophomore coming off a very, very strong freshman campaign. Here's the 1-0 delivery to her. Oh, she gets a good piece of this one. This one's going to have the distance, and it's over the right field. But wall, take a lap. Caitlin Lloyd, what a way to start the game for the Lancers.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That's about how it went.
It's a barn burner, folks.
So it's a barn burner. A big fella. So anyways, to finish my story.
I love Caitlin Lloyd. In fact, remember we interviewed her a couple weeks ago, and she said, well, I'm not up there trying to hit home runs.
Exactly.
She's like, I like the doubles.
Blah, blah, blah. She's hitting home runs.
In the nightcap,
I like the home runs.
Apparently, it only takes her about 1 pitch to get settled in. In the nightcap, pitch number 2 of the game.
She did it again?
Okay.
1 hop to the wall.
Wait. Here's the call.
Caitlin Lloyd, in the first game, she went 2 for 3. And she had that home run, which was the only run for the Lancers until about the 5th inning. First pitch is low. That one is a ball, so 1-0. Here's the next delivery to Caitlin Lloyd, and once again, she makes good contact. This one's going to one-hop the wall. She rounds first, and she's into second standing, so a leadoff double for Caitlin Lloyd. Her first at-bats have been all good for the Lancers.
This is a barn burner, folks.
It's a barn burner. This one's going to be a barn burner, folks.
Caitlin Lloyd.
Wow.
All right, so Colin, we're big baseball guys around here. We love baseball.
Oh, CBU baseball.
We love CBU baseball. We love Gary Adcock.
I love Gary Adcock.
But here's the deal. Baseball, any level, high school, CBU, the pros, U Darvish, you name it. You name it, U Darvish. But with a no-hitter, there's this stigma that you don't talk about it, right? Uh-oh.
No one says anything.
We go to the 7th, and CBU is leading, and you don't say like how many hits the other team has. So how did you handle, Cullen? Here was your first college softball game. You're doing the play-by-play. How did you handle the no-no?
About like this. So that pitch a little bit outside 1-0. Remember, Dominican has no hits in this game. Here's the next pitch. That one's in there for a strike looking. Just keep in mind, this is a no-hitter.
Because some people, they'll be like, okay, let's be sneaky. We're going to sneak in the back door and be real quiet about this. Cullen took the opposite approach.
Yeah, no.
We're going to bust through the front door, and we're going to let everyone know we're here. There's a no-hitter going on.
It's the top of the first, guys.
The second
bottom
game.
of the first, we got a no-hitter going.
Exactly. I was like, and this is 7 1/3 innings, no hits for Dominican through 2 pitchers. I said that in the first inning of the second game. So I made sure people knew what was going on the whole time. I didn't want to leave them in the dark.
Did anyone come up to you after the game and said, wow, dude, you just called 2 no-hitters? Or, hey, Cullen, you're a lucky charm. Did anything like that happen after the game?
Did you get
No, see, I was kind of in a state of shock. I woke up this morning, I was like, was I not excited enough? Because apparently that was a big deal. I don't think in the moment I realized just how big a deal the back-to-back no-hitters were, because CBU was just so casual about it. They were just mowing people down.
Business, man.
Kelly Springstead, who pitched the second game, had 9 strikeouts. That's a season high for her, and she was 3 strikeouts away from her career high. Jeff's getting lost in all these numbers. She was 3 strikeouts away from her career high.
Don't try, Jeff.
But her career high came in a 9-inning game. So through 5 innings, she got 9 strikeouts. Do the math.
Domination.
Exactly.
Do they have really short hair in the front, long hair in the back? Business
Crickets.
in front, baby.
Crickets,
oh, business
in front, party
business
in the back.
up front, party in the back. I don't think that mullets.
Thank you, Craig.
They don't.
How do you,
girls don't wear
Colin,
mullets.
I'm going to put you on the on a pop quiz right now. How do you spell Kelly for Kelly Springstead?
Kellye.
He got it.
Springstead.
He did it. It's Kelly. It's kind of a wacky.
Do you follow her?
Winner.
Do you follow her on Instagram?
No.
Wow. And who threw the first no-no in that double dip? It was Ciara Stapp?
Yes,
Stapp?
Ciara
Did I
Stapp.
say it right?
Yeah.
Say it
How do you
right?
spell Stapp?
Stapp.
Stapp.
So
Jeff Stapp. Just Stapp, Jeff.
Just Stapp. Stapp what you're doing. So back-to-back no-nos last night against Dominican. CBU softball back on the field tonight. Cullen is not calling. I guess they called in the backups for this one. But yeah, that's pretty funny that every game you call has been a no-hitter.
Every game.
There's something to be said for that.
You even
I'm batting
covered
1,000.
You even covered a soccer game this weekend and didn't get anything, so you're still getting.
My apologies to the Aquinas boys soccer team.
No, you got the
Aquinas is like,
celebration.
man,
I'm sure they're going on YouTube like, I got to see my goal.
Yeah.
My CIF championship goal. And they go on there and he misses the net just barely.
There's another close shot. And
But hey, you're nobody's scoring on you, definitely, and keep doing it, keep calling it.
we got to keep tabs, and I got this eerie feeling that Dominican might get a hit in that first inning.
No.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
Did we talk about it too much? Is that why?
But I like your approach that, you know what, I'm not going to hide the no-hitter. I'm not going to act like it's not happening. Hey, there's one out in the first, and the no-hitter's still intact. Hey, and the ground ball is short, and two outs in the inning.
First pitch of the second game. I made sure people know the no-hitter was still alive.
So how many consecutive innings was that? Because the second game was
12.
mercy ruled, right? So 12.
Yeah, because mercy rule doesn't kick in until it has to be 5 innings played.
So 9 in the first.
7 in the first.
Oh, 7 in the. So 7 for a
NCAA
doubleheader.
softball is 7.
So 7 and 5.
Yeah. Only baseball plays 9 and 7 doubleheaders.
Look at
But
that.
baseball doesn't have a mercy rule, which is why CBU
won
had a
14
21-3 win the other day.
Oh, Gary,
They did?
I tweeted at you, Jeff. I was like, "Hey, I thought CBU got a football team. 21-3.
I
That's
saw
a
that.
football
But,
score."
oh, how dare you, Gary Adcock?
Yeah, 21-3, man.
That's
Held him to a
ridiculous.
field goal. Was that against Holy Names?
I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. Calling no hitters.
Where does intern Cam play?
Holy names.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Did you see him?
No. I wasn't at the game.
Oh.
You know, we should pull up the box score. I wonder if he played. I'd feel bad. He was here in town. He didn't go out there. He
probably
didn't play.
still
He didn't get an at-bat.
He's probably still concussed.
He got hit by a ball.
He got hit right in the forehead last year.
He had to wear it.
Yeah.
All right. Good job, Cullen. We appreciate it. You did a great job yesterday. We're so proud.
I love you.
Yeah. They just released him.
Like I said, you're the son that we always want.
Yeah, we finally got
my
him.
life partner, Pep Fernandez.
Our son Cullen.
Oh, look at he's like, oh, Gorham.
It's the family business. Where the family picture. Matching shirts.
We're going to wear Christmas pajamas.
That's right. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. Next up, we're going to talk more Clipper and Laker basketball. I know you want to. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Well, we are back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports 1350 IE. We are brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training, and Catalano Motors in Corona. We are now joined by Pep is out on the road. He's driving around the block. We're going to hear from Pep as he drives around in circles. Pep Fernandez, is that you?
It is me. Hey, we're back to the soccer hotbed known as Indian Springs. Jeff, if you remember, the Coyotes won a Southern California championship last year. They lost in the section championship game against Citrus Hill, but they regrouped. They hit that reset button, and they were able to battle back and win that SoCal title, which is even bigger. So tonight, they begin their march towards another SoCal championship, and they're going to open up with San Pedro. We'll have it live on IENBTV.
Now, quick question for you. You said SoCal championship. Do they not have a state championship in the CIF level for soccer?
They don't, and it's kind of a bummer because right now you look at basketball, and they're in the state playoffs right now. So you take, at the end of the season, you take your Southern California champion and you pit them against the Northern California champion, and you play for the state title in Sacramento. But soccer doesn't have that. They only have a regional championship. So the Southern California title will be decided between the Southern section, the San Diego section, the city section, and part of the Central section. So it's kind of a wacky thing they do. There's not a true state champion, only Southern California champion.
Now, do they do this because of travel ball in soccer starts up pretty quickly after the CIF playoffs?
You know, I'm not entirely sure because even the soccer regional is relatively new. They started it just a couple of years ago, so it's not like this regional Southern California playoff has even been around that long. Now, high school basketball, they've had state for a long time, but soccer is still relatively new, kind of like football. Football state playoff was just introduced in the mid-2000s, so still something kind of new, and I would love to see a true state champion in soccer as well.
Why don't you use your pull and your clout and get something going on since you are Mr. NorCal?
I should. I'm going to call my people at the West Valley Eagles and the Shasta Wolves and the Foothill Cougars and say, come on down. We want to play you at Indian Springs.
So there's a team actually called the Cougars?
The Foothill Cougars, the Big Red Machine.
See, Cougars has a different meaning for me now. It used to be, like an animal. Now it's just a hot old lady.
I was like, isn't it still an animal?
I don't know, because every time I hear Cougars, though, I always think that there's going to be a giant group of older, hot ladies that are ready to attack.
No, the Foothill Cougars are not a bunch of old ladies.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, in my mind they are. In my fantasy they are, as we talk about it. Hey, speaking of not scoring, let's talk about those Clippers. How about those Clippers?
They're playing. Hold on. Hold on. They are scoring, Jeff. I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I'm going to say the Clippers make the playoffs.
Oh, stop it. Just stop it. Well, they're playing are they playing? This is the dumbest name in the NBA, the Pelicans. Is that who they're playing?
Yeah, they play them tonight. But, they're New Orleans. They got lots of Pelicans.
No, that's dumb. Hey, they are 13 games back of Houston, but they're just 2 games ahead of the Clippers. So with a win tonight, the Clippers can make it a one game back. And like we talked about earlier in the show, the Clippers are really in a good spot, like you said, to make the playoffs. They're only 2 games out of the 3rd spot, which is the Portland Trailblazers, who are just 12 games back.
Yeah, so if you look at the Pacific Division standings, you're going to say, oh, man, they're way behind Golden State. But, you can't look at that. All they got to do is get to the playoffs. So, and again, the West is all jumbled up. There's a bunch of teams. And even those teams that are in the middle of the pack, I'm talking about Portland, New Orleans, who else is in there? Minnesota, Utah, Denver. I don't think any of those teams are necessarily better than the Clippers. I think the Clippers, and this is going to sound crazy, they might be like the 3rd or 4th best team in the Western Conference still.
Yeah, the Clippers, they're doing okay. They lose Griffin, which is not, it didn't turn out to be the biggest fiasco as we thought, just because Lou Williams has been so good this year.
Yeah, Blake Griffin, and I don't want to peg him as a Carmelo Anthony guy. I just feel like he's one of those guys who's really good, but does he make the team better? Like, you put LeBron James on any team, and they're instantly going to be better. You can put him on the Sacramento Kings, and all of a sudden Sacramento's going to be a playoff contender. But anywhere else, any other guy, you put him anywhere else, I feel like they're just not going to be a better team. But so Blake Griffin's with the Detroit Pistons, and he got off to a good start, but it's not like Detroit all of a sudden is going to challenge Boston or Toronto or Washington or Cleveland for the title. So losing Blake Griffin, I don't think it was the worst thing in the world. And again, if you're looking at Portland or Denver or Utah or Minnesota, if you get into a 7-game series, I think the Clippers can beat all those teams. Now, Houston and Golden State, they're out of their league. They're out of everyone else's league, for that matter. But if the Clippers can get to the playoffs, I feel like they're just as good as any of those other teams. Even San Antonio, with Kawhi Leonard out and LaMarcus Aldridge hurt, man, they can easily beat San Antonio.
Well, they've got it. They've had a good stretch. They've won the last 4 or 5. They have New Orleans at home tonight. They have Cleveland coming in on a Friday, and then Orlando, and then they go back on the road to Chicago and Houston. So even though they're not Western opponents other than New Orleans and Houston, we're going to get to see them play against the East. We're going to get to see them play against LeBron James, Orlando Magic, and then they go out to Chicago. So we're going to get a real test to see how good these guys would do against the East come Friday night against Cleveland.
Yeah, hey, guess what? LeBron James coming to L.A. to play the Clippers and the Lakers. I wonder if he's on a little scouting mission to see which one he's going to end up with next year.
Now, my biggest thing is, we talked about, Cleveland did a clean their house. They got rid of everybody, basically. They got rid of an MVP. They got rid of Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is shooting baskets right now. Somewhere in Ohio, they said, by himself, trying to work on his game. He might be done completely. They get rid of Dwayne Wade. They get rid of all of these guys who were former MVPs, and they bring in Larry Nance. They bring in the Laker guys, Jordan Clarkson. But are they a better team than they were before they got rid of those guys?
Yes, I would say Cleveland is better. Because, come on, Jeff, if this was a hot tub time machine, this was 5 years ago with Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade. 7 years ago, I'd be like, dude, this is like a super team. But, Dwayne Wade's still okay. I see what he's doing in Miami. He hit some big baskets for them, and that's great. But they weren't going to make Cleveland a championship contender. It's not like the Warriors going out and getting Kevin Durant, then bringing in Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade in the offseason. To me, it wasn't a huge splash. It was like, a couple of guys who used to be really good, and if called upon off the bench, could probably pour in some productive minutes. But again, not a huge splash. Not guys I'd be stressed about if you're a Washington Wizards fan or a Celtics fan or any other team in the East that thinks they might win the conference. But yeah, I wasn't really impressed. Again, if it was 5 or 7 years ago, it probably would have blew me away, but not now. Okay, well, let's look at this current team then. If you take LeBron James out of the equation, you just pick him up and put him off the board. Is the team without LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers, are they better than the Los Angeles Lakers of right now? No, the Lakers are better right now. I think the Lakers have already shown that they're young and they've got talent, and it's finally coming together. We talked about Julius Randle being a contract year, so he's probably playing above what you would normally get out of him because he hasn't, to be honest, he hasn't really been that good. But I think they've shown enough that the young guys are starting to come around, even Lonzo Ball, as it pains me to say that. Is he going to be an all-star? I don't know. I don't think he is. But is he going to be a good point guard that can, get the other guys involved? Yeah, I think so. But, yeah, I think they're better than Cleveland right now, minus LeBron James. If you took LeBron James out of the equation, I feel like the Lakers are a better team than the Cavaliers head-to-head.
Now, Cleveland's obviously they're without Kevin Love. Kevin Love came out in the media today saying that he is suffering from depression. I don't know if you had read this or heard about this, but he's kind of shedding light on this whole depression issue. I know DeMar DeRozan from Toronto has been an advocate speaking out against depression. this could really affect Cleveland, when Love comes back, because he said he's had panic attacks during the season. If you're LeBron James, and you hate to say it's not a negative notch against Kevin Love, but does that make you, if you're LeBron James, want to stay in Cleveland if you have a guy who's might be imbalanced, and you hate to say it, but imbalanced, and younger guys? Or do you take your talents and you look for maybe to go to either Philadelphia, San Antonio, Lakers, Clippers? Do you think that will have any effect on him choosing to leave Cleveland?
Well, I think, regardless of, the Kevin Love situation, I just don't think the Cavaliers are very good, and I don't think they're very good. I don't think they're built going forward. J.R. Smith, George Hill, these are veteran guys who are on the back half of their career. So if LeBron's like, you know what, I'm going to get on a team for the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to be an NBA title contention, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they just aren't it. So if he stays in Cleveland, it's because he feels obligated to give them the hometown treatment and stay there. But going back to Kevin Love and the whole thing about him having a panic attack in a game, and some other guys talking about this, it reminds me of Zach Greinke, the starting pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks, who was with the Dodgers. He used to deal with that quite a bit as well. And these guys are under constant pressure. Millions of dollars are on the line. This is a lot of pressure for any one man to take upon himself. And I know for Kevin Love, he's kind of been the target of a lot of bad things in Cleveland. When things go wrong, he's kind of the guy they always point to, and I don't know why, because he's still a great player. He was really good in Minnesota. Kevin Love was probably in his prime with the T-Wolves one of the top 5 players in the NBA, in my opinion, when he was playing in Minnesota. He hasn't been quite the same guy with the Cleveland Cavaliers, but he's still really good. But for whatever reason, when things get sideways, they always point at him, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, it has been. He has kind of been the scapegoat when they've had any kind of issues the last few years. But I do think he'll be a little better. If he comes back healthy and healed, I think he's going to be a better player, more along the lines we've seen in Minnesota, because he's not going to have that the burden of another point guard that is a shoot first, pass second only. Kevin Love will be more of a central focal point in the offense. He'll be a true number 2 rather than being a 3, which he had been when he was under IT, whether it was under the guy that went over to Boston. There is a
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, he is a definite 2 now instead of a 3 as he was there for quite some time.
Well, I know he's still a great player. He was awesome in Minnesota. He was a scoring and rebounding machine. For his sake, I would like to see him go elsewhere. If he went to Sacramento, he'd be the number 1. He'd be the top guy. I don't know if he wants that. Maybe he wants to be a sidekick, or maybe he wants to see if he can still kind of duplicate what he did in Minnesota. Just for my own selfish reasons, I'd love to see him in Sacramento, but I think he's still really good. I just don't think Cleveland's going to be his place going forward.
Well, we are going to see LeBron James this Friday, March 9th, with when they play the Clippers at Staples Center. Maybe a little dress rehearsal for what's to come. Maybe with the Clippers, maybe with the Lakers.
Yeah, definitely with the Clippers, not the Lakers.
Oh, yes, okay. Well, Pep, we know you've got a big game to call. We will be back in touch with you with an update later on in the show. And who are you going to see again? Indian Springs?
Coyotes, man. Indian Springs, all the way. Defending SoCal champions. Football, man.
Well, we will catch those highlights on IEMG later on, and we will get the word of mouth from you later down in the show.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, we'll have fun with our son, Cullen Holt. That is Pep Fernandez. He's going out to cover some CIF state regional soccer games. And I'm Jeff Gorham, and we will be right back with an interviews from Coach Percival. We'll have different interviews that we're going to from last night's coaches show at UC Riverside's Lake Alice show last night on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back on Fox Sports 1350 AM.
I got good news. We're extending arts and crafts time by 4 hours today.
My fingers hurt.
What's that?
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well, Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anybody else's fingers hurt? I didn't think so.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk through the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
You know, in business, it's all about the bottom line.
to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Bastian, why don't you do what you dream, Bastian? But I can't. I have to keep my feet on the ground. Call my name.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We've had a lot of off-season movement in high school football. One of the premier programs in the IE, of course, the Chaparral Pumas. And they've got a new head coach, although I wouldn't call this guy new because he's been around the program his entire life. It's Andrew Raymer. Coach, first off, congratulations on getting the gig with the Pumas. But you're a lifelong Puma, right?
I appreciate it, Pep, for the phone call. Yeah, I've been 17 years as a Puma. I was a player, and I came back and started coaching in 2009 and been here since as a teacher and a coach.
What was it like to get a job, and I don't know if you'd call it your dream job or not, but going back to your alma mater is always a special thing, and being able to go back as the head coach at a program where you played?
I mean, I would call it a dream job. I told the administration during the interview process, this is the only place that I want to be. This is the place that made me who I am today. Took a immature teenager and has turned, really turned things around, and Chaparral's done great things for me, and I want to make sure that we do the same thing for all of our student athletes and help them out and just become better people when they leave Chaparral.
So most recently, you were the associate head coach. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did a little bit of everything. I was the offensive line coach. I helped with the offense, with the risk coach system, and then I did a lot of the recruiting and academic work for the kids during the day.
So it sounds like you've done a variety of different things, which is probably in hindsight a great thing, right? Because going in as the head coach, you're responsible for everything. Everything ultimately going to fall on your shoulders.
Yeah, so I feel confident because throughout the years I've been here with 3 different head coaches and had different roles with all of those guys, and I'm going to try to take all the positive things that they all did and try to combine it and go from there. So yeah, I feel confident in all the head coach responsibilities. Of course, there's always going to be some things that I can improve on, and that's just with time.
We're talking with Andrew Raymer here, the new head football coach at Chaparral on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, going back even to last season, this is a Chaparral football team that made a great run in the CIF Southern Section playoffs. Of course, you had some great offensive linemen, and you're a direct reason why you guys have such a great run of O-line guys down there. But based on the guys that are coming back from that playoff team from a year ago, what gets you excited about next year's Chaparral football team?
This is going to be a great year for skill guys for us. We were senior heavy with all those linemen. We were blessed, with all those offense and defense linemen. Our linemen really, did their thing last year, and our skill guys improved every single week, and they were all young. So we're excited for our skill guys. We have a lot of explosive athletes, and then we have a young group of linemen that have been sort of waiting in the wings, have been practicing with, Justin and Steve and Thomas and Tyler and Jared. And I think that they're ready. They're not the 6'4", 300 and, plus pounds like our guys are, but they're grinders. They're really intelligent kids, and they love the game of football. So I'm excited just for all the assets that we have coming back. So.
Well, you mentioned Justin Deayon, Stephen Jones. They're just most recently in a long line of some really good offensive linemen to come out of Chaparral. And like you said, you worked with the O-line guys. What's the secret down there? What are you guys doing? What's the secret recipe at Chaparral for these O-line guys?
I think it's just, first of all, they're really good kids and they have some great family support. But, it's easy for kids to sort of buy into it when they see an older guy being successful. And it started off in 2009, 2010 when we, Patrick Clifford, went to Nevada. We had some success early on. So these guys like Mason Walter and Kyle Hoppy and Bryson Bridges a few years after that. And then Justin and Steve and these guys were freshmen when Kyle and Mason were seniors. So they just see like, okay, they're doing this. If I do the same things that they're doing, then, I can go off to college. And Justin and Steve sort of took it to the next level. So where they were these national recruits instead of like West Coast recruits. So, and we have some young guys that have the size and ability to do the same thing. And I think that, their mentors are Justin and Steve and the rest of our offense linemen. So it just makes it easy for these kids when they see it, and then they just buy into what is needed.
We're talking with Andrew Raymer, the new head football coach at Chaparral High School here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, when you look at the Southwestern League, it was kind of wacky last season. Vista Murrieta took a dip, and Great Oak finishes that second-place team. And Murrieta Valley, they've got, they're the team to beat right now in league play, but they're losing some guys. How do you see Chaparral fitting into the Southwestern League this upcoming season? Because I feel like at any time in the last decade or so, it feels pretty wide open right now.
You mentioned all those great programs, and they have great coaching staffs, and they have some great players coming back. Our lower levels have been really successful the past couple of years. We're excited about those lower levels and seeing if we can, combine that JV and freshman success with some of the varsity players coming back and just competing. People say Vista took a step back, but that schedule was brutal last year, and they competed well. Murrieta Valley is always going to be extremely tough. The quarterback Hank they have is an unreal talent. And he has some weapons all around him. Great Oak is always tough, and I think they're 3 or 4 years in a row of winning that city title. And even Murrieta Mesa made it to the semis last year, I believe.
Yeah, in Division IV, they sure did.
So, and then Temecula Valley has their new coaching staff with Coach Esposito. So the Southwestern League is going to be extremely tough. And we just need to prepare in the off season and preseason. So make sure that we're healthy and get after it. Like you said, it's wide open. Some people are going to knock each other off, and we're going to have to knock off one of those teams, the Murrietas or Great Oak, or to really make that top 3 or top 2 and compete for those league titles.
Well, Coach, if I could put you on the spot just for a second, do you know your non-league schedule off the top of your head?
Yeah, so we're going to open up with Hemet at home, and then we play Riverside Pauley, we play Redlands, then we play Yucaipa and Victor Valley.
So those games, obviously, before you get to Southwestern League, will be somewhat telling, and what's working for you, and the things that you might want to change before you get to Southwestern League. When you bring your brand of football to the Pumas, I mean, how would you describe what you want to see out of your football team? How are they going to play?
Our offense. We're gonna utilize our strength and on the offensive line. We're gonna continue, pumping out these offensive linemen that are gonna be big and strong guys, and we're going to be explosive athletes on the outside, and sort of do a couple different formations this year. Defense, we're just going to preach that those 11 hats to the ball swarming and try to get as many takeaways as possible, playing fast. And we're just going to play sound special teams. Our special teams have been solid. We've had some great kickers through the years. Our kickers haven't been recognized like the offensive linemen, but, John Barron at San Diego State.
Mm-hmm.
And, our kickers have looked up to him, and he comes in the off season and helps out. And we have Nick Fernandez back he played at Portland State. So we've had some success with our kickers as well. So our special teams has always been solid. So yeah, our preseason schedule is definitely going to be telling of what we do successful and what we need to improve on for the Southwestern League. And we have our bye week before we start Southwestern League play, so that's always going to be a positive thing as well. So we can find improve on some things right before we get into this gauntlet of the Southwestern League.
Oh yeah, it's always tough, and this year looks no different. Like you said, some new coaching staffs in the Southwestern League, some key guys coming back for some of those other programs. So it's gonna be the Wild West again down there in the Southwestern League. We got Andrew Raymer here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, the new head football coach for the Chaparral Pumas. Coach, before we let you go, what year did you graduate from Chaparral High School?
I graduated in 2005.
So
and,
wait, so let's go back. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to like 2005. Did you ever envision yourself being the head coach of the Pumas? And if you did, like you kind of called it your dream job, coming back to your alma mater and being able to coach there. But as a player, did you think, you know what, I want to coach. I want to come back here. I want to coach. Maybe even be the head coach one day.
When I was a student, no, that wasn't. When you're in high school, you're like, I'm going to make the pros.
Yeah, of course, right?
I'm going to be an NFL player. And then, I was lucky enough to go off and play college football out at Norfolk State in Virginia, and started 4 years there. And even starting at a Division I AA school for 4 years, the pros weren't calling. So it's a tough business to get into. So I came back in 2009 and was just sort of like, hey, I need a job. I just graduated college, And Coach Leach offered me a job on the freshman staff as the offensive line coach and an assistant to the varsity. And that's when I realized, all right, this is what I want to do. This is awesome. I'm still involved with the game of football. I'm helping these kids hopefully get, a better career than I had. And then I got into teaching, and I was like, this is definitely what I'm meant to do. So it wasn't until after, the NFL dream or, sort of got denied, and coming back here and working with the freshman level that I realized, all right, this is something that I really love. I really enjoy.
Yeah, and I could see that. I follow you, obviously, on social media, and you're always going to all the camps, and you're following your guys and supporting them and lifting them up where you can. So, I mean, it's not just you're a football coach from September to December. You're a football coach 365, right?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what we have to do for our kids. We have to get them, the opportunities to get noticed. And, if the kids are doing the right thing in the classroom and they're working out hard, it makes it easy for us to go out there and put our name on them. But yeah, we have to support our kids, and there's all these fantastic camps with Nike and Adidas and Under Armour, and then all the college camps that come in the summertime. So we got to get our kids out there and noticed, and they see it, and it sort of shows them that, hey, we're buying into you guys, we're loving you guys, and it makes it easier for that long football season. They trust us that we're here for them, and they want to play for us. So,
well, Coach, congratulations. We're excited to see you on the sidelines again. You've been there for forever, but as the head coach of the Pumas. So, congratulations, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, that's Andrew Raymer, the new head football coach for the Chaparral Pumas. We'll be back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Oh, you can't think
Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Man, there's a really cool youth football camp coming up at Summit High School, and some former Summit Skyhawk stars are coming back. A couple guys from the NFL. Jamal Williams, he'll join us on the show tomorrow, but right now, New York Giants defensive back Donte Deayon. Donte, man, I can't believe, I just feel like I'm just getting old, but I remember you winning that CIF title in 2011 at Heritage High School. I can't believe it's been that long ago, but man, welcome to the show. And, what's it like coming back home now as an NFL guy? I remember seeing you in high school.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be on here right now, and it just feels good. It feels great. It doesn't seem like that long ago since we won the CIF. But, time's flying. Feels good to be back. And just so people can see the work that we've been putting in and the course we stayed on, and just keep chipping away at it and grinding at it. And now I could come back and, give my knowledge back to these kids in the IE and, just build it up. And it's feeling good.
So from Summit High School to Boise State and now the NFL, I'm sure you've learned a lot of things along the way from a variety of different coaches. What are some things that you have learned that you really want to pass on to the next generation? Because who knows, at this camp that you're going to do with the Summit High School football program, you're probably going to – maybe there's the next Donte Deayon in that group. You know what I mean? There's probably a kid from Fontana or the IE that could be the next Donte Deayon in there.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing to even think about that these kids can be the next us coming out of the IE. And really, I learned a lot through my years. A lot of different coaches, and even at Summit, even those coaches I had at Summit, they really taught me a lot when I headed into Boise. So I was always a student of the game, and I'll just keep telling them, learn the game, learn the techniques, each position, not just your position, but the other positions around you. Learn, knowledge. Keep working on your brain. Keep working on your brain year in and year out. The physical aspects, they're going to come, but if you can't mentally pick up or be mentally strong enough to get through some of the things you're going to endure, then it's not going to work. So I would just tell them, keep working on that brain, and let's keep it sharp and keep sharpening the mind.
Yeah, I think a lot of young, talented players, they think, hey, you know what, I'm really fast and I'm really strong. I can cut some corners here and there. But that's what separates the good from the great, isn't it?
Definitely. That's what separates a pass breakup from an interception.
Yeah.
How I look at it. So, yeah, just making sure those techniques, you stay to that and you don't cut no corners and you keep grinding.
We got Donte Deayon here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Donte, I want to make sure I get this right. So what's the official name of the camp that you're doing?
So it's Jamal Williams and Donte Deayon youth football camp, and it's sponsored by our lifestyle brand and corporation, Good Eats.
Yeah, so I see that Good Eats everywhere. Talk about that brand. What does that mean to you when you hear that brand name Good Eats? What is this all about?
So I started it in college with a couple dudes, and we started, and I really just wanted to put a foundation and create avenues for guys and different guys to be a part of one thing, but giving back to so many different communities. So it's Good Eats is a lifestyle brand, and basically it's a lot of different athletes, and not just athletes, people that I went to school with that's a part of it. So that way we got Jamal, he's in Green Bay now. But we're from the same area, so when we do stuff, we could come together, give back to our community. But I also got other guys that play for other teams, and they're from different areas. So it's creating a whole avenue where our whole group, we can go to different communities and give back to where they're from and others.
So it sounds like the sport of football's really opened up a lot of doors and opportunities for you to use your status as an NFL football player and this Good Eats brand to give back. Like you said, you've got guys all over the place, so you're able to really impact and affect a lot of different people in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one of the biggest things. We always talk about investing in yourself and, giving back. So with that being said, we use this platform to do that.
So the camp, it's March 17th, correct?
Yes.
And the last I heard, there wasn't a lot of spots open. Do you know if there's any open left? And if there is, how can people still register?
It's not open anymore. It actually filled up in like 2 days.
That's a good thing, though, right? That's a great thing.
Yeah, definitely. I was excited about that as well because it just goes to show the support that we have from our community and the people that we grew up with around here in the IE and how they're still supporting us. And, it's going to be a good time. I'm excited to see all the kids out there and their parents and just everybody out there. It's going to be good energy. Good vibes, and I'm just excited for it.
We're talking with Donte Deayon of the New York Giants, former Summit Skyhawk as well. And Donte, I'm certainly not going to name names, but there's guys that come from the Inland Empire, and they make it big, and we don't see them again. But guys like yourself, Jamal Williams, Kenny Clark's another one of those guys. They come back. They don't forget where they're from. They want to give back. Even when you were back in high school in Boise State, did you always think in your mind, hey, if I make it to the NFL, if I make it big, I'm not going to forget about the IE. I'm going to come back. I want to do things for the Inland Empire still.
Yeah, that was always a mindset. My family still lives in the IE, so I'm fully invested, and I just want to try to get a group, so with Good Eats, I've had that in mind that we're going to build up our cities where we're from, so we're going to do lots of things. We're going to eventually we're going to just have pop-ups and signings and giveaways. Like we're going to start, and it's going to be an annual camp that we're going to host out here in the IE to come and just really just start building the IE up, and just doing a lot of things out here for the community.
Donte, let me ask you, how are you health-wise right now? Because I know your season was cut a little short. I think, was it a broken arm or a broken forearm?
Yeah, I had a fracture in my forearm.
How did that happen, and how are you doing right now?
It happened on a tackle on Thanksgiving. We were playing the Redskins. But, yeah, now I'm all good. I'm rehabbing, getting everything back strong, getting right, and I'll be headed back to New York April 9th to report, and we'll go from there. But health-wise, I'm getting back strong and getting back in to the groove of everything.
Man, there's hardly any off season now for the NFL. We go all the way through January into February, and then you got to report in April. So you have a little bit of window, and I know you're coming back to do this camp. But what are some other things that you use or that you're able to do during the off season? You try to get away, take a quick little vacation. Are you hitting the weight room? Like, what do you do in your off season when you have a little bit of downtime?
Yeah, so when we first get done this break, I try to just get my body healthy. Get healthy, work on my muscles, get PT, physical therapy, just get everything done my body-wise, and I'm, lifting and running, staying in shape, that's year-round. And then when we got this time, since we have Good Eats in that, I'm working every off-season to just build the brand, just keep building the brand every off-season, whatever we can do to build it, that's what I'm doing in the off-seasons.
Well, Donte, I know you were added to the Giants active roster. You were getting in there. You were making plays. Was a little frustrated to think, oh man, I finally got my shot, and I got this broken forearm. Like this is the worst possible time. Was it a little bit frustrating to see your season end like that?
Yeah, but honestly, I didn't get frustrated with it. I just know it's a part of my journey. It's just another piece to the puzzle and another piece to my story that I get to tell. Battling adversity. And coming back from that, just showing that everybody's going to go through hard times, rough times. You might think it's your time, and it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah. But and that's why I said you got to build your mind and work on your mind, because that's what's going to get you through these times. You might be like, dang, man, and when you start soaking and moping, and now it's going to hurt you in the future because you're not taking the proper steps to set yourself up to come back better, stronger, bigger, faster. So that's how I took it. I took it as it's going to be another piece to my story, and I'm going to come back even better.
We're talking with Donte Deayon of the New York Giants, former Summit Skyhawk, here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Donte, I think a lot of young athletes, again, they see someone like yourself and they say, well, they made it to the NFL. It looks like he's got everything together, but they don't see all the struggles and the obstacles, maybe the things that you have to overcome to get to this point, right? I mean, it's a battle, it's a struggle, and there's a lot of things that even yourself to make it to the NFL. I mean, there's hurdles you have to cross.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about it is there's hurdles on the field and off the field. And, that's one of the biggest things, the obstacles that you got to go through off the field and on the field. You got to be able to balance it. And you need a strong team and foundation and people and support around you to get through that. You don't want to try to endure it all on your own. You don't want to try to take it all on your own. But these obstacles that you go through, you just keep battling, grinding through them, and it's adversity. And when adversity hits, it makes you a better person when you come out on the other side of it.
You're exactly right, whether it's an injury or getting cut from a team or whatever the circumstance might be, a rough family life. Everyone has obstacles, but you have to persevere and battle, and a guy like yourself making it to the NFL. Donte, one more thing. Let's talk about this Good Eats Camp one more time. And you talked about the fact that you really want to impart to these kids that, you got to be a student of the game. You got to, obviously you might have the physical talents, but you got to be a student of the game. You got to understand your position. You got to understand all the other positions. What are some of the things that you're hoping to coach up these kids at the camp that they're going to learn so they can go back to their youth team or their high school team, or wherever they might be, and go back to their school and say, hey, this is what Donte Deayon told me. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, first things first, I want to just make sure these kids, their mindsets are right, and I want to tell them, don't ever forget to love this game and enjoy it, because the higher ranks you go up, the more it can start to feel like a business, or, start not to be so fun for some people. So really just enjoying and loving the game. And then on the field, it's about all the techniques. I just want to teach them the techniques of certain things, how they should come out of breaks, having their eyes right in the right places, pre-snap reads that they might not think because there's pre-snap and post-snap reads. So pre-snap, what am I looking at? What am I looking for? Help these kids start understanding formations. Just because
it gets really complicated real fast.
Yeah,
right?
it gets complicated real fast. And you don't want to over, do it with the kids, but you want to do it to a way they can understand it.
Yes.
So get it to where they can understand that, okay, he said, boom, okay, I'm playing corner, I'm playing off at 7 or 8. And my inside foot's back, and eyes are in at the QB. I'm not off at 7 or 8, inside foot back, and I'm staring at my receiver. Just things like that. It's little things about like that these kids, I think, can learn and gain and start taking it to the next level and just really working on their techniques and getting them right.
I think you just hit on it. It's going to that next level. They might play on their youth team or whatnot, and they know how to play football, but you're able to take them to that next level, like you said, add a little bit to it, that maybe they weren't thinking about.
Yeah, just trying to add to their game and just elevate it.
Well, Donte, we appreciate the time. We're going to have Jamal Williams on the show tomorrow. And, again, it's the Good Eats Camp. It's March 17th. It's sold out, which is awesome, brother. That's so good to hear. You'll have to do it for 2 days, I guess, next year or something like that to bring more kids in.
Yeah, definitely.
That's Donte Deayon of the New York Giants, former Summit Skyhawk on the show. Donte, we appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Sherry, can you do this? Rolling with the homie. Rolling with the homie. Yeah, let's do it. You ready?
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
Need to fill a prescription? The one
WBE Riverside.
Doesn't it look like I am ready? I am always ready. I have been ready since first call. I am ready. Roll.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Well, it's a nice Tuesday here on the Fox Sports 1350, the Inland Sports Show. We're brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken's Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training, and Catalano Motors in Corona. Well, we have a little breaking news here. Cal State and University of Northridge has just released head coach Reggie Theus as the head men's basketball coach at Cal State Northridge. Sources say that he was let go yesterday. It was confirmed just minutes ago. Once again, Reggie Theus is out as the head basketball coach at Northridge. Well, last night, Pep Fernandez and I, we had a chance to sit down with the UC Riverside head men's basketball coach Justin Bell as we did the monthly coaches show from Lake Alice. We do it every single month. Usually we do it on the first Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. from Lake Alice in downtown Riverside. But last night we had a chance to sit down with Justin Bell as we head into the Big West tournament play. And here's that interview from the coaches show from Riverside TV.
Welcome back to the UC Riverside Coaches Show from Lake Alice. We got some good food, people playing billiards. We got Riverside TV in the house. It's like a party. And we got Coach Justin Bell here from the UC Riverside men's basketball team. So now it's all good. He brought, Jeff, did you eat all the food off his plate? Where'd all that food go?
I eyeballed it.
I know you were.
I'm on a diet, though, so I can't eat that.
Well, you are on a diet.
Yeah, I can't eat that.
Coach Bell, you brought some help here for the interviews. Who'd you bring here today?
Associate head coach, Noelle Bell.
Noelle Bell, the associate head coach. Yeah. She calls the shots, doesn't she, at home?
And the defense.
And the defense. Well, Coach, it was a tough game at Long Beach State. Yep. We're going to put that one way in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
We're going to look ahead to Thursday and UC Davis. Jeff and I were talking about this on the Inland Sports Show. Of all the teams, I know be careful what you wish for, but we wanted to see Davis. I feel like you guys really match up with them well, considering what happened up in Davis the last time you guys met. You had them on the ropes. You could have beat them. What do you think about this first-round game against UC Davis on Thursday at noon at the Honda Center?
Yeah, we're excited. We're not just because it's Davis, but we're excited to be in the tournament, excited to play against anybody. I think, people were talking about the Davis matchup because we played them well at home and we played them well up there on the road. But I think one of our biggest things we got to understand is every game is kind of its own individual challenge. So, playing well last game is not necessarily going to feed into this game just because we played well. We got to, I think we force some things to make us play well, and we got to go in aggressive with that same mindset on Thursday.
Coach, we've been with you all season.
Yep.
And I will say this: there's been some ups, there's been some downs.
Yep.
But I will say this, the team, the coaching staff, everybody involved with the program, they have always bought into what you have sold to the team. They played hard every single game, and the wins and losses might not show up, but you guys have been in every game, but just a couple. And I think we attribute that to you and your coaching staff.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think during this year, and I told our assistant coaches, the players are going to act how we act, so we wanted to go in every day with a plan. We wanted to go in with good energy. We wanted to go in with an aggressive mindset that we're trying to get better every day. And I got a good group of seniors. I got 2 sitting out there right now that were on board with that, and they followed. And, as we continue to make progress every game and every practice, it started to pay off on the court. We got a little bit closer, and then we turned those close ones into some W's. So it was good for us down the stretch here.
Well, if I had any eligibility left, I can play for you in a heartbeat, Coach. Just because I believe in everything you've done. I think you've done a great job with the hand that you've been dealt, and I think that the players all respect and enjoy playing for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if I would have recruited you. You're not my type of big man, but I appreciate it. You'll be on our short list.
Jeff or Alex Larson?
I don't know about that one.
We've got Justin Bell here on the UCR Coaches Show. Coach, so you got Davis in the first round, and this has kind of been, Jeff and I, our battle cry all year long on the Inland Sports Show was just get to the Big West Conference tournament and, then win 3 games. It comes down to 3 games in March, and you can punch your ticket to the NCAA tournament for the very first time. Talk about the fact that you guys are close. You're 3 wins away, and step 1, get to the tournament, is complete. Now step 2.
Yeah, I think it's step 1.1, which is, the Thursday game, and then step 1.2, which is, so on and so forth. So we try not to look ahead. I think one thing that helped us this season is we always just kind of stayed focused on the task at hand. And I think tomorrow's a big task. We just want to focus on having a really good practice tomorrow. And I think that ultimately builds confidence when you just kind of go day by day. And then when the game shows up, then you're able to perform instead of the ladder, looking at the game and then trying to work yourself backwards. So
I think Noel's trying to call in a play right now.
Well, the thing is, Coach's shoe's untied here.
Oh, you can't have that. We can't have him trip.
She's letting Dad know that his shoe's untied.
Look at her.
Yeah. So
this is going to go viral. You know that, right?
Yeah.
People are going to love it. Remember, what was it? Steph Curry had his daughter at the podium at a press conference, right?
Yeah, she likes Arturo, so she'll be okay.
We got Coach Bell here. And, Coach, you guys get a shoot-around at the Honda Center? Do you guys get to see that court before we actually take the court against Davis?
Yeah, it's going to be early. What's funny is I was telling the guys today when we were going up to Davis, and you guys know because you were with us, we had some complications with our flight, and we got to the airport at 11.
We did?
Our flight, and our flight left at 5, and then it got pushed back, and didn't end up leaving until 6. But what happened with all that is we didn't get to practice that day. So we decided to have shoot-around the next morning at 7 a.m. at Davis.
Early.
So we left the hotel at 6:40. We've never done that before. We practiced at 7 a.m. Well, lo and behold, our shoot-around time Thursday, because it's a 12 o'clock game, is at 7 a.m. So, I think that stuff worked out for us because now we've done it before.
Yeah.
So
in hindsight, it was kind of a good thing, a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it helped us. So it's not going to be brand new. We've done it before. We've woke up early before, got on the bus, shot around at 7. So those guys are going to have a feeling of we've done this before, which you always want kind of going into a tournament situation.
Well, you guys have won 4 of your last 7 in Big West play. That was the push to get you guys into the conference tournament.
Yep.
I know it's another sports cliche, like, flipping the switch, but what have you guys done maybe differently in these last 7 games? Was anything differently, or is it maybe just some of those baskets are starting to fall for you guys?
I don't know if we've done anything differently. I think that we've stayed the course, and I think that our guys, more than anything, believe in each other, and I think that has helped. They trust each other a lot more. And that's showing up kind of in the assist to turnover column, I think, in these last games. So they've really been able to build a synergy and a chemistry among themselves that has helped, propel us forward.
When you look back at this last stretch of those games, which one do you look at and say that was the best we played all season? Because the Cal Poly game, you guys only had 1 turnover at halftime. There was only 5 in the entire game. If you take care of the basketball, you're gonna be in good shape regardless of who you're playing. But when you look back at these last couple of games, those last handful of games, was there one in particular like, you know what, if we could bottle that up, we're going to do really well at the Big West Conference tournament?
I thought we played really well the first half of the Cal Poly game at home. I think we really shared the ball that first half. We did a good job with our assisted turnovers. We did a good job with our assisted turnovers, and I think guys defended really hard. We held them like in the 30s, their shooting percentage. So I think that first half, if I could say, if any, we did a really, really good job.
She's going to steal the show. You know that, right? People are going to be like, was Justin Bell on the coach's show? I only saw his daughter over there.
Yeah. Now, Coach, you're a lifer. You're a UC Riverside lifer.
Yep.
You went to school here.
Yep.
You've coached here.
Yep.
You're now the head coach. What has been the most fun being the head coach of your alma mater?
I think, really, it's funny. I played for John Macy when he was here, and the way we looked at Coach Mace when he was here, it was like he was the head coach and you're the player, and it's so like, wow, like, it's such a difference. And, my friends come up now to watch us practice, and they go, I can't believe you're in Macy's office. You know? So it's like,
do you have the same office?
Yeah. So it's like, you know, I think sometimes it's really a blessing to wake up and be able to coach at your alma mater. You're comfortable. You've been there. You've been to school there. You know, it's really been good.
We got Justin Bell here on the show, eating some chicken nuggets and fries and hanging out here. Noelle's really into it. I thought she was going to be kind of shy when she first came up here.
No, she's been around a little bit now. She's really comfortable.
How many basketball games has she gone to this year? Between you and your wife, I'm sure she sees a lot of hoops.
Yeah, she's probably been about 20, 25 games. So,
probably like the same as us, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Every time we're there, she's there, right? Oh, she's got some fans, too. She's like waving to all her fans out there here at Lake Alice.
Yep.
She's enjoying it.
Yep.
Coach, what are some areas that you feel like you got to clean up, maybe get a little better before you see the Aggies on Thursday?
I think we still want to fine-tune our defense. I think we could still even play even better defensively. You know, I think definitely rebounding, defensive rebounding, we want to clean up. We're a good defensive rebounding team when we want to, and we have to kind of keep that consistent every single game. I think our on-ball defense is really good. Our help side defense, we still are a work in progress cleaning it up. I thought we made huge steps in our Cal Poly game with that. So just continuing at this point of the year, you know, you just want to fine-tune things that you've been doing. You don't want to try to change anything. You're not going to make huge drastic changes. You know, at the end of the day on Thursday, you know, we've been playing for a long time. We got to just show up and compete and play really hard and have a focus. I told our guys the game plan is not going to win us the game. It's going to be the players and our guys are going to win us the game.
Well, they're going to have a pregame pep rally for the UC Riverside men's basketball team before the tournament begins, an hour and a half before each game, because we're assuming they're going to win Thursday. And then, 10:30 in the morning.
They're going to start early.
At JT Schmitz, yes. So Thursday, and then again on Friday, and then again on Saturday night. We're going to be playing for a conference championship. Coach Bell, we always appreciate the time. I have one last question. Jeff and I always laugh because we sit real close to the bench, to you guys, and we always hear the fans behind us. We always hear everything. And we were at Long Beach State. We heard a real funny one. This is totally clean. They're like, Coach Bell doesn't have pleats in his pants. We're like, where did that come from?
Yeah, you know, you can't have pleats, right? You can't.
That
was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say it's 2018. Who wears pleats in their suit?
But we did hear it. So then, of course, we immediately went like this.
Yeah, we're looking at our okay. Do we have pleats? Are we out of style? No. If there's one coach in the Big West that's always put together, looks great, it's Coach Bell over here.
Always pressed shirts, always looking good.
Straight out like a Gap catalog. Banana Republic. He walks right out of it.
I appreciate it, guys.
So I don't know if you heard that, but we heard it and we were laughing on the air.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Bell, best of luck against Davis on Thursday.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Justin Bell, the head coach of the UC Riverside men's basketball team. When we come back, we got the big man, Alex Larson, and Co Flippin here on the UCR.
You always so mad. You must ain't got no man because you don't never smile. Do you?
What do you want from me?
Nothing. Think you kind of fly. You can start with your phone number.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
You know, in business, it's all about the bottom line. And since I sit in this uncomfortable old desk chair about 12 hours a day, well, my bottom line could really use a new chair, if you know what I mean.
Staples has lots of ways to save your business money. And right now, during the Staples Chair Event, you can save up to 50% on a full selection of office and desk chairs.
That really helps my bottom line, in more ways than one.
Work comfortably for less. The Office Chair Event at Staples. Better chair equals better workday. Ends 3/10/18.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
The Inland Empire's home for all things IE just got even better. Introducing the award-winning Inland Sports Show with Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m.
Your local sports leader in the Inland Empire. Fox Sports IE 1350.
Well, I finally improved my credit score.
What? The band is about to be discovered. Rock gods don't need to worry about credit scores. We're supposed to think about how many guitars we've smashed, make ridiculous on-tour requests, tragically break up and blame creative differences.
Yeah, I'm not banking my retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Flooded vehicles from recent hurricanes will soon be flooding the used car market, so it's buyer beware. Flooded vehicles are supposed to be dismantled for usable parts or crushed for scrap and a flood title issued to that damaged car. But some unscrupulous dealers will buy a flooded vehicle, clean it up, and get it retitled with no indication it was flooded. Or uninsured cars will be cleaned up by the owner and sold online, also with no warning to the buyer. If the price seems too good to be true, there's a good chance you're buying a lemon. Make sure to check for flood damage and have a qualified mechanic inspect it before you write a check. The free VIN check service from the National Insurance Crime Bureau is a good place to start to see if a car has been in a flood. Go to www.nicb.org to check it out. And if you suspect fraud, give us a call at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Every 20 seconds, another kid drops out of school. If we do nothing, 3.5 million kids won't receive a diploma over the next 4 years. United Way knows that kids who have a caring adult in their life are more likely to make it. And the difference between a dropout and a graduate could be you. Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
I'm James Carville. As a Marine veteran, I'm proud to support the Paralyzed Veterans of America, who advocates for our veterans with spinal cord injuries to receive the quality health care and benefits they desperately need and rightfully deserve.
Visit PVA.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
This is Edward James Olmos. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic? That means many of the future doctors, engineers, and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net. Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for all of us. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Find a relaxed position to let go of the time you left your daughter's blouse in the dryer too long and it shrunk 4 sizes, or when you donated her private diary to the public library. Deep breaths.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Sometimes auto accidents aren't really accidents at all. They are staged, deliberate crashes designed to make it look like it's your fault, when in fact, you're the innocent victim. Staged accidents can be dangerous, even deadly, but the criminals that are behind them are interested in only one thing: money from an insurance claim. They'll take advantage of the situation to claim excessive damage and injuries to the driver and passengers in the other. TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Get to the chopper!
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
A little Tom Petty here on a Tuesday afternoon. We are live and amplified here at the Fox Sports Studios of 1350 AM. This is the Inland Sports Show. Last night we had a chance, Pep and I had a chance to sit down with Angels legend and current UC Riverside baseball coach Troy Percival, and we sat down with him and talked a little bit about this year's team and what, you know, the youth that he has and where they're going to be headed as the season goes on. We talked to him last night at the UC Riverside Coaches Show at Lake Alice, which we do every Wednesday, first Wednesday of every month. We will be there next Wednesday, or the first Wednesday in April at 6 p.m. But right now, we're going to get to that interview with UC Riverside baseball coach Troy Percival.
And how about baseball as well? We're going to talk to head coach Troy Percival in just a moment. They're coming off a series with the University of San Francisco. They got this big, long homestand right now. They got Valparaiso coming to town. They're going to take on them next. But they also were down at Diablo Stadium down in Tempe, Arizona. We'll talk to Coach about that. And there's a guy named Cole Percival that also played for UCR and also picked up his first collegiate win. So that was kind of cool.
I'm looking forward to asking Coach about coaching his own son.
Kind of a cool deal, right? You know, where a father and son can share that special moment on the baseball diamond at UC Riverside. Again, a big thanks to Lake Alice here in downtown Riverside for hosting us, and our friends at Riverside TV doing such a great job on the video product as well. But see, this guy, he's a real bullpen guy. You stick him in the bullpen, he's always ready to go whenever he's called upon. We're going with the righty right now. It's the great Troy Percival, the head coach of the UC Riverside baseball team. Coach, welcome to the Coaches Show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
So you had San Francisco. You snuck in a couple games despite the weather. There's been a lot of rain in the Inland Empire and Riverside for that matter. Is it kind of tough when you come to work each day and you're looking up at the sky and you're like, I don't know if we're going to go today, but we got to be ready?
Yeah, so far this season's kind of been like that. Other than Arizona, we had great weather out there. Went up to Washington to play UW, and it was freezing cold, raining, snowing. Came back home, and it's kind of chasing us around a little bit.
I thought those East Coast teams and the Northern teams were supposed to come to you, right? So they get that great Southern California weather.
You would have thought Riverside was a much better venue than where we were at, but it's good for our guys to get out there, especially we've got 13 freshmen right now, and just to get them out in those environments and start getting some valuable experience. So when we get to conference, I've got my entire team ready to go.
Well, you opened up the season at Diablo Stadium, the Angels spring training home. Obviously, you know that. Taking on Nebraska and also Washington State. What's it like going back there and having your guys, your Highlanders, experience that, playing in a professional park?
Oh, well, all I can keep thinking about is conference. For this team, conference is what's going to get us where we need to go, which is a regional. And what that did for us, going there playing in front of 6,000 or 7,000 people, all Nebraska fans, by the way. We went out there, and I actually thought we dominated the field out there. We should have been 3-1. We let one lead slip away in the 8th inning. But we went out against two big, highly rated teams and should have came home 3-1. We came home 2-2. But it was a great experience for the young kids to get out there, and you got something special coming.
What's it like playing against one of your former teammates, Darren Erstad, over at Nebraska? I mean, what was that like?
It's always great to see him. He's a good friend, and he's very intense, whereas I'm a little more laid back. It's my coaching style. Let the kids go out and play, and I kind of get on him about that stuff. It's like, look, man, we've already played the game. Let's let these kids go out there. But he's very professional, very strict about everything that he does, and it's good to see him in a different aspect sometimes.
You talk about these kids and getting them experience, getting them ready for Big West Conference play. One of those kids is your kid, Cole Percival. Got his first win down there at Diablo Stadium. How special was that as a dad and as a head coach to see him go on the mound and get that first win as a Highlander?
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's hard to separate the two sometimes. I'm trying to watch my pitcher out there pitching and still enjoy watching my son get his first collegiate start, first collegiate win. He's thrown very well for us so far, and if we can continue this, our weekend pitchers are set, and he'll be one of them.
And, like I said, being a dad, being a head coach, seeing them out there on the mound for the very first time, was it special? Like seeing him in that Highlander blue, just seeing him out there for the first, especially at Diablo Stadium. Like it was like, man, all my world's coming together. The Angels and UCR.
It is. I mean, really, I used to take a picture of my son every year at Angel Stadium. from the time he was 2 years old with his leg lift up on the mound, and I got a chance to watch him pitch on that mound when he's playing for the Angels Elite, and now to see him playing at UCR and then at Tempe Diablo with all the Angel people around, and it was really special. Sometimes it's hard to separate being a dad and a coach, but that's my job, and sometimes I got to go pull them out of a game.
Yeah, I played for my dad a little bit in high school, and are you a hands-on dad? Do you ever, if he's messing around in practice, do you go, hey, you get on him a little bit?
Part of the deal of him coming to play here is I talk to him about pitching, and otherwise I don't talk to him.
Is that mom's job?
Nope. that is my other coach's jobs. I've told Bryson, JJ, Kurt, is if he does something, you handle it, you deal with it. There's not going to be any daddy's boy around here.
Yeah.
It's whatever needs to happen happens from the other coaches, and I'll take care of the other 34.
That sounds good.
Well, you're off to a great start. Second in the Big West right now in home runs with a total of 7. And a big reason why is Connor Cannon. The guy's built like a mountain and swings bigger than anybody I've seen. A Temecula Valley guy. Talk about the hot start he had. It started at Diablo Stadium. Talk about his hot start going into the season and providing a lot of power in the middle of that lineup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you show up to the ballpark and the other teams already know before it starts, you got team from Washington, team from Nebraska, both looking at us going, yeah, we're not going to give this guy anything to hit. And he still hits 3 home runs and drives in 9 runs while we're there. He's a definite force. The whole team, actually, is a very good offensive team. You wouldn't know it by what's happened the last 4 or 5 games. But we had a no-hitter thrown at us up at UW. And, boy, I tell you what, we're in the wake of that right now. And when we come out of it, you're going to see the team you saw in Arizona. The team in Arizona, 1 through 9, we had a powerhouse offense. And we ran into a buzzsaw up at UW. A really good pitcher threw a no-hitter at us. And sometimes that takes 3 or 4 games to come back out of it. But when you got guys like Connor, Dean Miller, you got a lot of power in that lineup. You got guys that can run. Speed doesn't go into slumps. So we're just going to keep pitching right now until that offense comes back, and it will come back. I don't look at wins and losses this early in the year as a justification to how we're doing. We're playing decent defense. We're really throwing the ball far exceeding our expectations. Our pitching's been fantastic. So when our offense comes back around, it's only been 4 or 5 days. What I've been telling the kids is 4 or 5 days of not swinging the bat is not an indicator of who we are. So, coming into the season, I figured it was going to take us 12 to 15 games to get our feet under us. We have 17 new players. Sometimes it takes a little time to gel, but I tell you what, I think when we hit conference, people need to look out.
And speaking of that offense, junior Dean Miller transferred from RCC. He's having a great year so far. Tell us a little bit about him.
He's very physical, built like Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to be 235, 245 pounds, solid muscle, runs a 6'7", has power. We're just trying to get him to try and harness that a little bit right now, hit line drives. But, we think he's hitting 350 right now, and I think it's only going to get better as we go.
And Colby Schultz as well. He's another guy. We're looking at all the stats right here. He's off to a strong start, and defensively as well, right? A guy that you can lean on.
Right. In my opinion, he was the best shortstop in the conference last year, plus hitting 290 with, 4 or 5 home runs. This year he's actually hitting in the upper 300s. And, he's one of the finer shortstops you're going to see. So we're lucky that he came back as a 5th-year senior. I really expected him to be drafted and be out playing pro ball right now. But we've got him back. And so long as you've got strength up the middle, which we've got with Sporer and Colby, I think that you got a team that's going to do some real damage coming soon.
So we got Valparaiso later this week as we continue this homestand at the Plex. Like you said, just trying to snap out of it, get some runs, push a couple runs across the plate. What are you hoping to see out of your team as you move, get a little bit closer to Big West Conference play?
Well, I think with Valpo coming in, I'm really looking for the young guys. I'm trying to get a lot of freshmen at bats because we have a very talented young group, and sometimes it costs you some wins early in the year, but they pay off later. So what I'm really looking to see is some of these young freshmen come in here, get some good at bats, get some hits, and start to loosen up a little bit. Sometimes it takes a year for a freshman to become a sophomore, and I'm asking them to do it in about 3 months. So that's what I'm looking for. I hope that we continue to throw the ball well. They can really hit. Valpo is right now one of the top hitting teams in the country. So we're just going to go in there, we're going to play our game, and just continue to get ourselves prepared for conference, because that right now is our primary goal. Coming in following next year, you'll be looking at, hey, we got to get off to a hot start. But we all know that the one way that UC Riverside gets into the postseason is by winning conference. Second place or third place isn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm prepping for right now.
What's been the pleasant surprise so far this season? I think you just touched on it because I'm going to assume you're going to say the pitching staff, but has there been another pleasant surprise early in the season for you?
Well, that is the biggest surprise. We came in, and I've told the whole team in the locker room is, our biggest question mark is our pitching staff, and with the emergence of Cole and now Kevin West, who just got his first start this year, on Sunday he went 5 innings, no earned runs, threw the ball extremely well, touching 95, 96 miles an hour. We finally got our weekend rotation set. That just happened this weekend. So bullpen-wise, I think we've also been we've been coming in throwing strikes. Other than that, it's hard to find a silver lining when you've been 2 hit and 3 hit for the last 4 games. But the good part is I know that it's coming. We have very talented players, and once they come out of this, it's going to be painful for others.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these scores against the University of San Francisco. You guys beat the Dons 3-2. Then it was a 2-1 setback and a 4-1 setback. So the pitching staff has kept the team in the game, even though you haven't scored a lot of runs on the board. But the pitching staff has kept all these games close.
Right, and actually the 4-1 loss was 2-1 going into the 9th inning as well. So pitching staff's doing a good job. It's tough to pitch when every game is a one-run game. It's low scoring. They've kept their composure. We've had guys bases loaded, 1 out, and we go out and we continue to throw pitches where in the years past that's been a walk and a hit batter, and we just are attacking the zone, making people swing the bats, and they're starting to reap the benefits of it.
Is there something to be said going through some close games and series early in the season, kind of battle tested? I know it's kind of a sports cliche, but to get ready for Big West Conference play. Yeah,
being battle tested is good, but you got to win those one-run games before you start realizing you can do it. I'm just glad that our pitching staff has held it where it's at. We gave up 2 in the first inning yesterday, and the next thing you know, it's a 2-run game in the 9th inning. It's 2-1, then they scored 2 to make it 4-1. But the fact that we're not folding, we're not buckling, we're not walking a lot of people. Defense has not been as strong as I've wanted it to be, but that's also something that's going to improve.
All right, Coach, the Valpo series at the Plex later this week. What's kind of the message to maybe some of the fans out there live here at Lake Alice or maybe watching live on Riverside TV to get them on out there? I think we're going to have good weather, I think. I'm not a meteorologist, but I think we're going to have okay weather.
Weather or not, I think you need to come out and see this team. We had one of the top 30 recruiting classes in the country, and this young talent that we've got is going to be exciting for the next 3 or 4 years. And this is the time when you're going to see them getting their feet wet. By the time we get to conference, you'll start seeing my veterans out there predominantly. But right now is an exciting time to come watch the young talent because it's going to be the core of our future.
Like you said, it almost feel like a sleeping giant, right? Like you see the talent there, and there's a lot of potential. It's just waking it up and turning it loose.
Yeah, you got to get it out there, even though it's going to cost you a game here and there. And I'd like to say that we're going to be 6-6 right now. We're 4-7 right now. But the fact is, if I don't get those guys out there, they come back next year as freshmen again. If you don't get those at-bats and get time on the field. So, sometimes you may look out there and go, why is he pinch hitting this guy? Well, it's a one-run game, and I'm pinch hitting a freshman with a chance to tie a ball game up so that it's not the first time it happens when we're playing Fullerton.
Exactly.
And speaking of that top 30 recruiting class, it's peppered with a lot of local kids. How important is it for you to recruit locally, and does it help because you coached at the high school level here local at Moreno Valley? Is it important to get those kids from the inland area?
I would like to predominantly be all Inland Empire players because, in my opinion, it's some of the best talent in the country. All the other schools around the country recruit it very heavily. The kids are a little tougher. Things aren't just given to them. And for us here to keep the kids that we're keeping home has been super valuable for us. The more that we get, the more of the top local talent, they call us now and say, hey, my friends are there. I want to play with my friends. And I'd love to say that at some point in my career we're going to have 35 Riverside kids out there beating up on the country.
Well, Coach Percival, we always appreciate the time, and best of luck going forward against Valparaiso later this week.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you much.
All right, that's UCR baseball coach Troy Percival here on the UCR Coaches Show. When we come back, more Highlander baseball talk. We've got Connor Cannon and Cody Spore joining.
She comes home from work in about an hour and a half. Graveyard shift at the hospital. You got to make some phone calls? You got to call some people? Well, then do it.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
You talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
Need to fill a prescription? The one stop to make is at the medicine shop. We offer personal
The one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. You know, the new NFL season is quickly approaching because, you know, the free agency starts up next week, and that's how the kind of the signal of the new NFL season, and guys can start trading and making moves, and all of a sudden you'll have the draft, and then all of the little mini camps, and then it'll be the NFL season again. It's all year round now.
Yeah, and, you know, right now all the teams are franchise tagging everybody, so, you know, each guy on their team. So this will open up a lot of free agency.
Yeah, so you'll finally get to see guys if they're going to be sticking with those teams, or a guy like the LA Rams, Sammy Watkins, who now his name's out there. He's out there, Jerry.
Yeah, and he was a big part of that Goff resurgence, because this rookie year was not so pleasant.
No.
You bring in a guy, he comes out of Buffalo, does a great job for the Rams, and he was a big part of that team.
He was a big part. Think about it. Jared Goff's rookie year, I would say his top receiver, my estimate, was Tavon Austin, a little slot receiver, which if he's your number one guy, you don't have a passing threat. So Jared Goff, they surrounded him with some guys who could actually catch the ball, make plays after the catch as well. Sammy Watkins, like you said, coming out of Buffalo. But they did not franchise tag him. But reportedly, the Rams really, really, really want him back. And if you're Jared Goff behind the scenes, you're probably pushing for that too, because you need those security blankets. You need guys like a Sammy Watkins that you know if you get the football to him, A, he's going to catch it, and B, he's going to the yards after the catch.
Yeah, and he's going to make defenses play honest. I mean, you got to go out and guard him. You got to cover him the entire time. And he was very successful when he first came over. The end of this year slowed down a little bit, but that threat was always there for Goff.
And what's funny is you would think Todd Gurley's also pushing for it, because if the passing game is going gangbusters, that's going to open up the running game as well. If you could have a legitimate passing threat, Jared Goff, Sammy Watkins, throw another receiver or two. If you can be a threat through the air, it's going to make life a lot easier for Todd Gurley in that ground game. And he's coming off a near MVP kind of season for the Rams. So we know what we got with Todd Gurley, but it's only going to make his life easier if they can continue to throw the football and Jared Goff continues to progress, but he needs receivers, a guy like Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, and Gurley had the best year of any running back, off the ball, catching the ball, better than anybody since Herschel Walker. So that's 30 years ago that you go back.
So the Rams did not put the franchise tag on Sammy Watkins. They did put the franchise tag on safety LaMarcus Joyner. So, again, kind of shoring up that defense. Jeff, I'm a defensive guy first. I know you like goals. You like high-scoring basketball games. You like baseball games with home runs. I like the no-hitters, the 1-0 games in soccer, and football teams that can hold you under 15 points. So I like defense. If you want to go defense first, I'm totally on board. That's totally my style. You're more flashy. You like the points and the goals and the baskets.
I am definitely an offensive guy. You know, talking about another guy who was franchise tagged today is Le'Veon Bell out of the Steelers. I think that's a good move. If you're the Steelers, you don't want to sign that guy to a multi-year contract. The guy's been a big headache at times. He's a great football player, but
you want to be stuck with him for several years.
No, but you can sign him to year, and they'll probably franchise tag him next year as well. Yeah. The last time they can do it. But I think it's a good move. I think he was talking about holding out like he did earlier this year, but he can't recoup that money once he holds out. So I think that's a good as well.
Plus the shelf life of a running back. You know, they toss out these contracts to these running backs. And who was it? I was talking to my friend Patrick the other day, and we were talking about Sean Alexander. You remember him? He was a running back for the Seahawks.
Yes, I do.
He had like 2 or 3 seasons. He was the best running back in the NFL. And then he just fell off a cliff. He's just gone. Running backs, if you give them a big contract, you just really don't know. Like, health-wise, they get banged up. 30 years old is their prime, as opposed to a quarterback. Look at Tom Brady, 40 years old, still the best in the game. So if you're able to franchise a running back, put that franchise tag on him, probably the best thing. So for Le'Veon Bell, yeah, he probably wants to get a big payday and go somewhere and get a huge contract, multi-year contract. But if you're the Steelers, you're like, you know what? We'll keep him another year, maybe franchise him 1 more year, because after that, really, is he still going to be in his peak? Is he still going to be in his prime years?
No, and honest to goodness, because you don't know what he's going to do. He's kind of wild. He could do stuff off the field that could really cost your team. Like I said, the running backs nowadays, the football has changed so much in the last 15 years. It is now it's a thrower's game. How many quarterbacks are playing under center now?
Yeah,
everything is run out of the shotgun.
Bring back the fullback. Dot that I.
Yeah, exactly. But it's changed so much that you don't even have to draft a quarterback in the first couple rounds, because there's going to be somebody in the 4th or 5th round that can help you.
Tom Brady was a low pick out of the University of Michigan. But speaking of quarterbacks and picks in the NFL draft, Saquon Barkley, the running back out of Penn State. Everyone's saying Barkley could be the #1 pick now to the Cleveland Browns because he had such a great showing at the Combine. I still have a hard time, if you're asking me, I still have a hard time picking a running back with the #1 pick. I would still go with the quarterback. And I know you're going to say, well, everyone loves the quarterback, the most important position on the football field. But it's kind of true. If you've got a #1 pick, there's always a chance that you're going to whiff, and this guy might not pan out. We've seen this so many times. Jamarcus Russell, right? Raiders quarterback. But if you've got the #1 pick and you're the Cleveland Browns, you've got to try. Even if Barkley is a stud running back, you could probably get another running back in the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe in the 4th pick. Barkley still might be there at #4. when the Cleveland Browns pick. But I think if you have the number 1 pick, I think you go with quarterback because it is the most important position on the football field. And to find a good quarterback in the NFL, it's tough. There's a lot of teams out there with mediocre quarterbacks. And I think you've got to at least try. Is it Josh Allen? Is it Josh Rosen? Is it Sam Darnold? That's up to the Browns. They can make that pick. But I think you've got to go with a quarterback with that number 1 pick for the simple fact that I think you can find a lot more running backs. And the shelf life for running backs, not very long. You can get a quarterback, draft him, hold him for that rookie contract, and bring him back if he's great. Bring him back for that big money contract after the rookie contract. And your franchise is going to be set for a good decade. But a running back, even if they're really good, they might only have 3, 4, maybe 5 years where you get them in their prime, and then it's on to the next one.
Yeah, they've got no legs after this. You know, the constant beating. If I'm Cleveland, though, you know, their track record for getting quarterbacks isn't very good.
No.
So
Tim Couch.
I mean, where did Derek Carr's brother?
David Carr.
Wasn't he a Brown at one time?
No, he played like one, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
that's my boy though. Come on, man.
Hey, he was more gifted than his brother. He just got into a funk when he was playing that he just never really got out of it. But
he played for the Houston Texans. Right, yeah. They were an expansion franchise. And he got sacked more than anyone in NFL history. He was literally running for his life on every single play. And I think that just, I don't want to say it stunted his growth, but it's like, man, okay, he had already been placed under, an assumption by the rest of the league, like, well, this guy can't win. He's not a winner. He's not going to be a great quarterback. When in true reality, if you would have put him on, let's say, a 49ers team or a Steelers team, a team that's already built. Yeah, a team that's already built to win. No, you put them the number 1 pick on a new expansion team with the Houston Texans. And what do you expect?
Yeah, and he was a great athlete, but his confidence. I mean, it was shot, and I think that kind of ruined him. But if you're Cleveland, you do go quarterback. He's like you said, Tim Couch, Johnny Manziel. Those guys weren't great, but could you use that first pick? Like you said, on the 4th pick, there could be a quarterback there. There will be a quarterback there. Do you go offensive line, just somebody to protect this guy? Or do you possibly go in the route of trading these to get a quarterback, an established quarterback into Cleveland, just so you win some games? Because, hey, one game in 2 years is not helping you.
Yeah, Cleveland could do a lot of things. Like, let's just say maybe they go out and get, I don't know, Case Keenum. Maybe they go out and get Case Keenum, keep that number 1 pick, draft Barkley.
Yeah,
then you got the number 4 pick, and you're like, holy smokes, Josh Rosen is still there. Then you take Rosen at 4. You know what I mean? Like, you could stockpile a couple quarterbacks and get your running back. There's a lot of things that Cleveland can do. They've got a lot of flexibility with the number 1 pick. And I say flexibility because they need help everywhere. They can't go wrong. They need help everywhere across the field.
And they have the money to spend, obviously, too. I mean, they're under the cap, $108 million, so they have money to spend.
Which is crazy. They have all this money to spend, and the Cleveland Browns, more than any other franchise out there, they need the money to try to bring some guys in there just who wants to play for the Cleveland Browns. And I'm glad you brought that up, Jeff, because the NFL salary cap has been set at just over $177 million per team. That's up $10 million, a little over $10 million from last year. And free agency starts, as we mentioned, next week. So March 14th is when the free agent period will begin. And guys will start moving around. You know, now we have the franchise tags on some of these guys. The other guys, like a Sammy Watkins, can look around and see what else is out there. So the NFL season will begin officially next week with the free agency period on March 14th. But going back to the salary cap, so there's 3 teams that are currently over the salary cap. And this kind of, well, 2 of them kind of make sense, I guess. The third one, I'm like, really? They're over the salary cap? They're spending that much money on the guys that they have? So there's 3 teams in the NFL that are currently over the salary cap. 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the most over at over $11 million, but they're the Super Bowl champions, right? So they did something right.
And they're making money off of that, so yeah, that's fine. Spend that money.
You know what? Yeah, they spent the money well. They're the champs, whatever. Second highest, and this is the one that kind of threw me for a loop, the Miami Dolphins.
What?
They're so mediocre. Why are they? They've wasted a ton of money.
Yeah, that's a shocker right there. They're over.
Yeah, so I was expecting maybe, I don't know, the Pittsburgh Steelers,
the Raiders,
the Dallas Cowboys. You know, that's what I was thinking is going to be over the salary cap. And the third team that's over the salary cap right now, the Kansas City Chiefs. So they all need to get back under the salary cap. But right now, they're going to have to shed some of those contracts somehow. But right now, Philadelphia is way over $11 million, followed by the Dolphins and the Chiefs. And the team that has the most room, $108 million. It's like they haven't spent anything. The Cleveland Browns.
That's maybe why they've won one game in 2 years. But the big thing is you're going to notice in the next week is there's going to be a lot more guaranteed contracts. They all want that basketball money, that baseball money, because in baseball and basketball, that's all guaranteed money. In football,
I think Bobby Bonilla of the Mets is still collecting checks.
He's still collecting
from
millions?
the 90s, early 90s,
and he's probably in some home right now, being fed through a straw. So I mean, that's just how long these guys have been paid. But you're going to see a big change this year. Guys are going to want guaranteed contracts. I don't know if the players' union will go for it. They only play 16 games a year.
I think it's the physicality of it. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, football is such a physical, violent sport. That's why we love it. But there's also an inherent danger that, you might get hurt. You might.
Yeah, one hit could ruin your career.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, now you're guaranteed all that money. So from a business standpoint, if you're an owner, I'm not saying it's right, but if you're an owner, you might say, well, why am I going to guarantee this guy all this money? There's no guarantee he's even going to get through the season. Meanwhile, a guy who's playing designated hitter in baseball.
To promote my new flower shop, I had one place print my business cards, another print my brochures, and a third, my signs. Now my roses aren't red, my violets aren't blue, my geraniums look dead, and I don't know what to do.
Staples can help your business stand out with signs, banners, and brochures that are a true reflection of your company. And now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more.
Now my business is blossoming, and I'm spending less green.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. Ends 3/24/18.
This Sunday, our iHeartRadio Music Awards are here for the love of music. See Can't Miss live performances by Ed Sheeran,
Now back to the Inland Sports Show. Here's Pep and Jeff.
Fox Sports IE 1350 AM coming to a close on a wonderful Tuesday here in the 951 and the 909. Some big things going down locally, Jeff, tonight. UC Riverside women's basketball team opening up the conference tournament against Long Beach State tonight, 8:30 p.m. against Cal State Fullerton. So best of luck to the Lady Highlanders. Of course, the men's team playing high noon in a Big West showdown at the Honda Center. I still call it the Pond, man. Still the Pond to me.
And I'm excited though. It was a blast last year to go to this big event. They came up short. They played a really good Irvine team this year. I think we have a shot.
Yeah, I think so too. They've been playing well, and especially they beat league leading Davis. So that's got a little confidence for UC Riverside for the women's team. And also a little bit closer to home out there at the Plex, UCR taking on Valpo. We beat them in basketball. Might as well beat them in baseball.
Beat them up in baseball. It was nice talking with Coach Percival last night, and he talked about his young team, and he said he thinks they're going to start hitting the ball. So
they need to score some runs.
They haven't scored a lot lately, but he did say, though, when it clicks, it'll click.
They've had some great pitching, including the great Cole Percival, his son. But they need to push across some runs across the plate and light up that scoreboard at the Plex. So 6 o'clock first pitch. So just in a couple minutes here, right down the street from us. A big thanks to Andrew Raymer, the new head football coach at Chaparral High School, taking over for the Pumas. He played there, longtime assistant. He loves the school. He's a Puma for life, and he's excited. He calls it his dream job. So big thanks to Coach Raymer for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show, as well as Donte Deayon, New York Giants defensive back, and Summit Skyhawks former star. He won a CIF title. In fact, they beat Heritage in 2011 for that Eastern Division championship.
Nobody beats
Heritage, but they did it with Donte Deayon and Jamal Williams.
Nobody puts Coach Broach in a corner.
Hey, tomorrow on the show, 4 o'clock, we're going to have Green Bay Packers starting running back Jamal Williams Jamal and Donte Deayon, as you heard earlier in the show, played at Summit High School together. They're doing a lot of stuff back in the community together, both Summit High School guys, part of that CIF championship team. And so we're going to have Jamal Williams on the show tomorrow right here on the Inland Sports Show, talking about his rookie season with the Green Bay Packers and also more about the brand that he and Donte Deayon have created called Good Eats. And basically it's about just giving back to where you came from. You know, they made it big time. They've made it to the NFL. And, Jeff, we've talked about this before. Guys who come from the 951 or the 909, they make it big and we don't see them again. They don't come back. They don't tweet about us. They don't do anything.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams and Donte Deayon and a guy like Kenny Clark, opposite. They're back here. They're plugged in. They're doing so many things for the kids and the youth in this community. So it's pretty cool to see that. And we'll have Jamal Williams on the show tomorrow. All right, it's been all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. Make sure you get your car in there soon. Jeff's overdue. I'm overdue. Yes. Both of those cars will be going to Spoiled ASAP. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Check out the strength and speed class. That first one is always free. Just mention the Big Jeezy, Jeff Gorham, at the door. Also, Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs and Letterman's jackets and team sales. And even if you just have a local business, you're a plumber, you're a welder, whatever you got going on, you got a team, they can hook that up too. Get you nice embroidery right there on the chest, Jeff, so you got your team logo on there.
Or my name, because I always forget my name.
Jeff. Hi, I'm Jeff.
Well, if you spell it like I do, it's
Geoff!
With a G, everybody goes, what is that? Is that Geoffrey?
The G-Man.
Is that Joffrey?
It's the G-Man.
It's the G-Man. It's Jeff. Yeah,
Jeffrey the giraffe.
That's what I used to tell people when I was a kid. It's like the giraffe. And they would go, oh, okay, now I know.
Okay, now you're cool. And Catalano Motors in Corona off of Temescal Canyon Road, where you can buy, trade, and finance. Make that car shopping experience so easy. I know you drive right down Temescal Canyon Road. It's right there. Pop on in. No pressure. Easy. And find that sweet new ride in your life. CatalanoCars.com. Catalano Motors off of Temescal Canyon Road in Corona. Again, tomorrow we'll talk more about these high school basketball state playoff games, UCR hoops, Cal Baptist hoops, and Green Bay Packers running back Jamal Williams at 4 o'clock. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
That leads to a lot of second